You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
He's a big ass porker.
The wasteland is a post-apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to see the rest. Nuclear explosions sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, gross atomic waste. From deep within the core, gross atomic waste.
Hello and welcome to the 549th edition of the Fallout feed. I am Andrew, joined by a flock of my favorite Fallout faces. Tonight, I've got Jess. What's up, Jess?
Kadiddly pow, Andrew. Greetings, everybody.
And Ray. What's up, Ray?
Howdy, howdy.
Tonight on the show, we got some feedback because we've been running around over there in the New Vegas wasteland. We are wrapping up. See, I did House Always Wins 4, and there were some omertas. People were doing cons. People were doing. There's one more thing, right? Cons, omertas, and what else?
Those are the those are the big two. That was
okay. So yeah, that's what people are doing this week, and any other little side quests or stuff you guys are getting into. But we got feedback. We'd love to hear all those episodes of feedback have always been the hits over the years, and we got some more coming at you. We got Rando just sent one in. Lee's got half of his feedback, which is 7 minutes. So get ready for that. We're gonna get part 2 coming in for Lee. He likes the marathon feedback.
We get the detailed, immersive feedback with pitch.
Let's see. We also got Vanessa, of course, John the Shoveler, and Calm and Nicky, of course. Always a staple of the show these days. So, Appalachia coming up in game time. So get out your compasses. We'll head out to the wasteland, try to find some locations. And looks like a good deal of iguana bits, too. Maybe a couple of shouts on the way out the door as well. So let's check in, see what everybody's getting into this week, and say, hey, Ray, did you get a chance to play any video games this week, sir?
I did indeed.
What did you play?
It was kind of a big week.
It was.
What? Let's see. What happened this week? What happened? What happened?
So it was a little bit slow start on the weekend. In anticipation of everything coming up.
So what was your prep work like?
My prep work was to switch my Starfield over, back over to Vortex and get a profile pared down with as few mods as I could.
Right.
To keep from having too many issues, and then just wait. And so, you know what? It has been far too long since I have snuck up and stabbed a super mutant. So I need to fire up a character in Fallout 4.
That makes sense. You got to get the stealth going on. You got to sneak up and stab a super mutant.
So,
because your only 4 has been London for a long time.
Yeah, for a long time.
Did FEV get over to London?
Oh, yeah.
It did? Okay.
Yeah.
If you had super mutants and centaurs over there or what?
They have a few different things, but, they definitely have weird stuff.
Yeah, I remember you saying there's some weird tennis monster or something.
Sneaky stab is too easy in Fallout 4. So I thought, how am I going to make this, so much harder? And so I know I will not wear any armor.
Okay.
Well, that makes for sneak. That makes for better sneak usually. You're not clanging around. That works.
And I'll only take a 1 in endurance.
Okay, so if they retaliate, you're done.
Yeah. So it doesn't take much to kill me. So I better be damn sneaky.
Are you in survival too?
You better stick
them.
You better stick them twice, Ray, before they get there, before they stand up.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, with a knife, you get a lot of hits in VATS.
Yes. You can just stab.
stabby, stab.
Yeah. So it usually only takes 2 or 3 to kill most anything, as long as you've got, your sneak multiplier going. And, so I can spread around, the VATS hits. Of course, I'm running Blitz and Sneak and Ninja.
How did you get there already? You just started with your stats that high? Is this a brand new character?
Yeah. Brand new start.
And do you start with an agility? Wait, what's the one?
Well, so Fallout 4.
You can
So
start
you
your
go through
stats
and
first, right?
You assign your stats first.
So you can
and then you
come
start
out of the
with-
vault already knowing, well, not already knowing, but with the ability to claim Blitz and Ninja and
In pretty short order.
and Enter Sandman. What's that one called? Not Enter Sandman.
Mr. Sandman.
Mr. Sandman.
So I had a 9 in strength and 9 in agility. So I was able to get Rooted and Blitz.
Rooted and Blitz, those are the two.
Right off the bat.
Yeah. Okay.
So
And does that mean you, what's the past tense of forego? Forewent? You don't say forewent.
I think that is that a thing?
I don't know.
You forewent the opportunity. Yeah.
Is that how you phrase that? That's so weird.
I mean, it's weird.
So Pikmin's blade, do you bother doing that whole rigmarole to go get? I mean, that's always the blade that's Crim's Tooth,
Yeah, well, Crim's Tooth is a little too slow, and it takes
It's
too
big.
many action
Yeah.
points to use.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Is it a
Pikmin's blade is the
machete? It must be a machete.
yeah. Crim's Tooth is a skin on a machete.
But we got to have a little ways
combat
here.
knife is more than enough to get things started.
So you're early on. What level have you gotten to yet that you're there? 5, 10? How deep have you gone on this playthrough?
I'm level 15.
Okay. So you've put a few hours in already.
I usually don't even
Yeah.
see super mutants for the first few days.
Oh, you do if you go looking for
If you go searching for them.
them.
Very, very quiet. I'm hunting super mutants.
Yeah, so I was headed for the railroad, so I did my usual, out the gate, get to Diamond City and then on to the Old North Church. So, and Good Neighbor. It's always hard. So it's also a 1 intelligence character. So I've got Idiot Savant.
Wait, you're 1 intelligence and 1 endurance and idiot savant?
Yeah. Yeah. So I've got 5 luck. What else did I do? Yeah. So I'm 9 strength, 1 perception, 1 endurance, 3 charisma. So I can get Lone Wander. 1 intelligence, 9 agility, and 5 luck.
No wonder you're able to get Blitz and up by Rooted and stuff that fast.
Yeah.
And the 1 perception too, you're blind as bat. We were talking about glasses before the show. I think your character is going to be blind as
But
bat.
the thing about, so if I was trying to shoot somebody, that'd be a big problem.
Right.
Because if I was standing right in front of them, I probably only have a 30% chance in bats. But with melee, it's all or nothing. You're either going to hit them or you're not.
Right.
90
Yeah, so you just
95
stab in the
or
direction
nothing.
of the big green blob.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter if if you have no perception. And with the 9 agility to get the blitz, I've got action points for days.
That is a ridiculous build. I mean, it's funny because we don't min-max. I mean, you min-max occasionally when you're going for a specific build, but this one is really kind of funny when you think about the actual character, like how he'd have to live.
Yeah. Yeah. So I made him as skinny as I possibly could. The lower left corner of the triangle. And so yeah, he's just sneaking around, stabby. it's a great way to play.
It is. No, if that's what you were yearning for, sometimes we yearn for the stabbings. And, like we've talked about how it's not quite as satisfying in Starfield, the sneak melee style. So
You made the comment that it is too easy to do in Fallout 4. But first of all, that's probably due to the perks more than anything. But is it that Fallout 4 is too easy, or that the rest of the games are too impossibly hard? Because I remember trying to do sneaky stuff, and I just can't do it in New Vegas as well as 4. Of course, the perks lend themselves to that.
yeah, it's all perks and skills, really, if you're set up for it or not.
It's because in Fallout 4 you start off, the ability to get sneak, is, you start off at the very beginning being able to take a level of sneak, so you don't have to worry about how you're spending your skill points, like you do with New Vegas. My character, it didn't take long, but still it took a little while before I was high enough in sneak to be essentially invisible.
Right. So how did you play it first when you do this? I mean, of course, we know you snuck by Preston and didn't bother going in there, most likely.
Yeah, I didn't even go into most of the time, I'll go in, clear out the raiders so that they can hang out downstairs, and not,
Well, that's nice of you. Let's
so
at least not be
terrible
shot
to,
at.
leave them stuck up in the upstairs, with people shooting at them. But I just go in the room, pick up the perception bobblehead,
Mhm.
and move on. And they're like, "What? Wait, where are you going?"
There you go. So you got the 2 perception then with the bobblehead.
No,
So-
I didn't go in.
Oh,
This time
didn't even do
I
that.
didn't care if I was 1 perception, because of the build. So I just didn't go in.
So, but that was kind of my question: is that when you're at a character that is so, shall we say, lopsided like this, on the Venn diagram is very much all on one side. How are the starting levels? Like once you get to a place where you got these skills, okay, that's good. But how is level 1, 2, 3? Like, how do you struggle through that?
Well, so the way that you do that is that you clear out Sanctuary, and then build some basic structures, and
Get a level that way.
infrastructure and everything. And then the other thing is that in Fallout 4 you get XP for discovering locations. So with Idiot Savant and just going around discovering locations, all over the place, you go up and you go to Abernathy, and then you go to the cabin, and then you
Yep.
go to the Wicked Shipping, and you're just going and hitting as many locations as you can.
That makes sense. And every once in a while, they'll be like +3 or plus ×5, whatever it is there with the Idiot Savant. Yeah.
And so
Is it times 10 with an intelligence of 1? Is it 10 times experience bonus?
I think
been a little
it's
while since I've run it.
3
It's
times
some
on the first
formula.
level and 5 times on the second.
Okay. That makes more sense. 10 seemed high, but 3
But I
seemed
thought it
low,
was
so-
also inverse to your intelligence level.
Yeah,
like it's
so
more
it
the
procs-
likelihood of procking is.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
If the lower your intelligence, the higher the percentage that it'll proc.
I do have to ask real quick. Are you running a mod pack with this at all, too? Like in any kind of collection at all? Or just your basic faves?
Yeah, I think I've got the Beast Hunter in, but
Okay.
I haven't done anything that I recognize as being, part of Beast Hunter.
Not
Part of
only
that,
can you
no.
tame them, but you can also ride them.
An age when nature and magic rule the world. There is an extraordinary legend. The story of a warrior who communicates with animals. who fights sorcery and the unnatural. His name is
Ray.
last of his tribe. He is also called Beastmaster.
Long drop, but I always feel like it's worth it.
I forgot that this was like Pee-wee's Playhouse and we can't say Beastmaster without getting that played. But yeah, I misspoke last week
Everybody
when
yell.
I said that we hadn't done the most recent Skyrimatic, like Michael had dropped it and I just hadn't caught it that day. So I went back and listened and you know, listened to the collections of new things you were trying there and stuff like that. So anyway, great Skyrimatic for Attic thing. But back to your Fallout playthrough.
Yeah. So yeah, it's essentially a vanilla. And you know, it definitely, it felt good to be back, and you know, it ran you know, very well. I didn't have any issues. So
Yeah, stretching out the roundtable like we are. Our regular dose of Fallout has been a little bit lower because of that. Like initially, you know, we got a lot of play in, but we're at the point now where we're, for the most part, just playing New Vegas for the quests because we've done a lot of the side content at this point.
Yeah.
We're not.
So, but yeah, it definitely gets dicey at times, being so squishy. It's and you know, you gotta love you know, RNG, because the only charisma clothes I've been able to come up with so far is a cream colored dress.
Oh,
So whenever I go to buy anything at the vendors, I'm always dressed in this nice little, you know, floral print.
you're there, half blind, floral print, thin as a rail. Funny.
It's you know, one of the other things that I love about playing, you know, the melee character, is that I just don't pick up a lot of stuff. You know, I can't pass up a roll of duct tape or a bottle of glue. But you know, I don't worry about you know, stripping people of armor or weapons or anything to sell. All I do is I loot bullets
Yeah,
and stim packs.
very much a murder hobo build with that,
Yeah.
that style. So we mentioned it was a big week. We've got Fallout 4 in there, which is awesome. I know you got some kind of emote. Didn't you get an emote for No Man's Sky or something happened in there?
Uh-oh.
We did. Yep. Yeah, we got
Is it the fuzzy
stadium
peach?
emote.
Sorry, what was it?
Stadium.
Stadium. All right.
Ooh.
So let's think. Some sort of large spectator event. What could it be? Races? Indy 500 associated space race.
No.
Damn it.
I bet you have a better idea, Ray.
So it ended up being what is now commonly referred to as Nokimon.
Like Nokimon Stadium? Like when we can make our Pokemons fight?
So now you're now all the creatures that you come across that you know, adopt and, you know, feed and pet them, you can now virtually fight them.
Whoa.
In an arena against other people's virtual creatures.
How do you transport these animals from point A to...
You have them in your backpack.
They're in balls.
I was going to say, is it in a little cube? Like...
You can
it's
you
not
can summon
Pokemon,
them.
it's a trapezoid. It's a rhombus, not a ball.
Yeah.
Or those are two-dimensional. So whatever
it's
the
a legally distinct
three-dimensional
sphere.
representation of those shapes would be. Save your letters, geometrists.
So it was met with very furrowed brows.
Oh.
Like, really? What's this? But you know, they do a good job of you know, making irrelevant things relevant in the game. So, you know, as soon as this dropped and we figured out what it was, I was in a pickle because I hadn't had any pets on any of my characters. So I had to go rush to get pets to be able to do battles. So,
And what does that entail?
You have to
Do you know where these
find
like
them on
everything
planet.
is randomly generated, right? So it's not like you can be like, oh, I know there's a cool elephant beast over here, and there's something over like right. You would just have to randomly happen upon stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's some of it is logged in your catalog. If you do any scanning, I scan a lot of animals. I just don't adopt them. So I could go through my list and because you try to have a variety of different creatures and it
You guys have eggs and stuff, and you can like manipulate the DNA of the eggs, right?
Yeah,
awesome.
So for a more detailed description of all these, you can listen to the next BBC ISSS, which was recorded yesterday. So
Nice.
Boom.
That'll be
drop
great
it
to hear
yet?
about.
No.
Okay.
Soon-ish.
Yeah.
So you just dropped one last week, so the next episode can't be for another like 2-3 months, right?
It's going to be sooner than that. Maybe next month, like May. But
Yeah, what's that
Todd, now that he used soonish, that's what we say about things now.
Soonish.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're on a
Soonish.
Dames Who Game publishing schedule now.
Soonish.
Yeah. So so that was a lot of fun, and this is right up Jen's alley. So
Yeah.
she's the xenobiologist in our group.
I think that's great. So now we know what it is. It wasn't a fuzzy peach. It was a stadium. You can battle your creatures. And what if we could do that in Fallout? Like, I would really enjoy being able to grab the creatures of the wasteland and train them up and level and fight them. That would be really fun.
You can kind of do that with the Raider trap thing. With the
Kind of, you can do the fights. Yeah.
I know, because they give you that arena, but that's more meant for the people that you trap. I thought. I've never actually done the whole, like, really dive into that, build the arena, get the teams and the sides and the beacon and blah blah. I haven't really messed with that arena stuff.
Yeah, I can remember at one point I did, because I needed to farm something that the gunners have. So I built a gunner trap, and was farming gunners.
Farming gunners, so creepy.
But
That is crazy. Like when there was a thing for a little while where we did like a couple YouTube channels would do death matches, where they do like the New Vegas death match or the all companions followers death match, and all of our companions have to fight each other in the castle
that's funny.
stadium.
I assume Strong won that, right? Come on.
Actually,
Or one of the
I think
robots, Codsworth, or
the end, like whichever character picked up a minigun was OP, but some of them were pretty tough.
oh come
Deacon
on, no
was tougher
weapons
than you
allowed.
think. Strong did very well. Ada was a beast. Ada did really well.
So, but then the other big thing was Freelane Serenamata.
Woohoo! And now here's the piece de resistance, what the week was all about. The Free Lanes update in Terran Armada. Awesome, Ray. So,
Yeah.
what do you think?
So I hopped in and started up a new character, and went through the character creator, and then started to leave the facility at Vectera, and I'm like, oh crap! How come I can't equip a helmet? How come I don't have on a spacesuit? How
These are
come
good
I'm
questions.
dying?
Oh no.
Oh, it's because Sky UI is not compatible with the new version of the game. And so it wasn't acknowledging any of my equipment.
Oh, that's
and-
funny. It just it was like you had no gear.
So I danced around with that. It took me a little bit to figure out which mod it was that was, causing the problems. Because I had gone through and I was very careful about only loading mods that did
Yeah, you
not
removed a
require
lot.
script extender.
Right. We talked ahead about, some of the choices we were going to make, and you were being pretty careful with that. I mean,
Yeah.
surprisingly, Script Extender was updated within a day or so, which is neat, although
Yeah.
mods that work with it might need changed.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Star
Yeah.
UI.
Within 2 days, we had script extender and address library. And then, the one that was kind of worrisome that I didn't have loaded was the Baka achievement enabler,
Right.
because that's what helps keep all your characters together in the load menu.
Mhm.
Because if you have modded characters, Bethesda likes to not acknowledge that they exist, and so it's fine if you do a continue, but if you try to go back and load a particular character, they just don't show up in your list.
Oh, geez.
'Cause they're those dirty modded characters.
Yeah, that's rough when you're going back, right? With the you have to use an achievement enabler to make some stuff work. But it came out, you got it loaded. I mean, it has run surprisingly well for modded saves. I mean, like we can talk about your experience, obviously, like that what you faced with Star UI. But what I have seen from others in general, and from my own experience, where I did load in, I still had about 52 mods when I loaded. I did not do I did a clean save, but I tried loading in my game that I had, and I didn't do a full clean save. I just did a cleaner save, and I haven't gone through the Unity. I'm like, oh God, please work, because I didn't go back and remove everything else like I was saying I was going to. I was just down to like the 50 some, but it's running fine. Things are running, but I know some things are being overwritten that probably shouldn't be. Like I do want to do a cleaner save and start fresh, and so I'm still going to do that. But I've heard some people saying they got a lot less complex than they expected, that a lot of things are just working.
Yeah. It was quite disturbing taking Star UI out of the load order.
Well, I know that's hard for you with the vanilla UI. You're not the only one too. Like a lot of people really are reliant on that.
Well, anybody that's ever used a real UI, is going to suffer with the vanilla.
Yeah.
So I was hopeful that something that would get updated with Star UI. It hasn't yet, and so I ended up I loaded Praxis UI.
I was going to say Praxis UI is one that some other people have used. Is that working any better?
Which is it's okay. It's not it's not as smooth, but at least so one of the things that I deal with my gameplay is that so I steal a lot of ships. Well, I commandeer ships from bad guys.
Right. Yeah, it's a service.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that, when you sell that ship, all the crap that was inside that ship is now in your ship's inventory.
Yeah. Your cargo hold can only hold so much.
And so my inventory's overstuffed in my ship, so I got to go sell it. And so I go to the, my typical thing is you go to the Trade Authority kiosk and you open up your ship's menu and you sell all the miscellaneous that isn't valuable.
Right.
And so Star UI, protects your ship parts and any other important items.
Wait, you can lock them? See, keep in mind, I've never used Star UI because I'm a dirty console player mostly.
By default locks it.
Wow.
Same thing with if you sell everything in your aid, it won't sell anything but food.
Okay, that's cool.
And if you want to sell all the books, because the ships are full of food, they're full of books, they're full of miscellaneous garbage. So those are the things you got to sell. And with Star UI, it's a category. You select the category, sell all, boom, you're done.
That's really nice.
In vanilla, it's sell, 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 sell,
Yes.
sell, sell.
Welcome to
Oh,
my
shit.
world.
I
Oh,
didn't want
heck,
to
I
sell
got the
that.
wrong one. Exactly,
Back
exactly.
out. It sell, 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 sell. And these lists are huge. I mean, especially
When you're
now,
commandeering ships full of stuff. Yeah.
now I'm going around Serpentis in them, so I'm all these giant Varun ships that have so much miscellaneous garbage in them because they're so big. There was no way I was going to be able to continue, with any, rational hope of enjoying the game if I was going to have to sell everything one piece at a time. So, fortunately, the Prax UI does have
It does help some of that.
some of that.
Nice. Well, that's good. You got something that works. But so overall, it's once you got past that, it's
Yeah,
running
so
for
I
you
haven't.
fine?
Yeah, it runs great, and I haven't had a lot. So again, when I start a new character, I've got certain things that I do, that that my routine, and all that stuff still works. So I was able to get to Serpentis in the frontier, and get my advanced weapons, commandeer of Rune Him, and then I was off to the races. So it's all that stuff worked fine. I have not gotten to the point yet where I'm going through and looking for new POI.
Mm-hmm. Well, you don't have to look that hard. I mean, because you'll find them a bunch of ways. You can find them
Yeah,
cruising.
but I don't wanna-
You can find them just playing.
I don't want to find them on Serpentis
No, that's no.
because I mean the enemies that you do encounter there are are very much high level characters.
It's fun though. I mean, this is the chance you take with your play style.
Yeah.
Your risk reward kind of high level play style with these. And
Yeah.
it's interesting because the method that you use of, trying to get the higher level gear, which I mean, obviously is a good method, but it's also going to be different now because of the new systems with X-Tech and stuff like that, and the way that you can level up lower level items with you or legendaries with you.
Yeah, that's a myth. That's something that you can do much later on in a save. Now, if you've already got a save where you've got, 1,000,000 credits,
Right. Yeah. Well, if you're talking, that's true because it's got to be a lot more limited on a lower level character because it takes
because-
X-Tech and credits.
yeah, X-Tech and hundreds of thousands of credits. It is not cheap. I think one, if to take my advanced to superior, I think it is, it was going to cost, 3 X-Tech and 250,000 credits.
I mean, that's really major. That's really major. I think a lot of stuff isn't that expensive, but I haven't played with the X-Tech system
Yeah,
yet.
it's
you know
still,
what I mean?
you know,
Some of it, but
it's 75,000, 100,000, 150,000. It costs a lot, to use X-Tech to
even on
raise the
lower
level.
level weapons,
Yeah.
okay. And even just getting like that first legendary, I didn't think was that pricey. But then, and then there are the 5 rerolls, and then after the 5th one, it lets you just choose. But of course, those get pricier as you go, as far as I
Yeah.
know.
And that's great if you're a YouTuber that console command yourself a bunch of X-Tech
Oh,
and
never.
a bunch of credits.
Hmm.
But if you're actually playing the game, and you're at a low level, you're spending all your cash on ship upgrades.
Well, I look
not
forward
on
to really
X
getting into that
upgrades.
then. Yeah, I guess I like, because I've played a little, we'll talk about that in a minute, but I have not played with the X-Tech system. So I knew it would be pricey, but I didn't think it would be that pricey. So that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, so I didn't do the reroll thing. I did the save scum thing.
Okay.
So I did a save, went to the bench, opened it up, rolled a legendary. Oh, that one sucked. Restart. Roll a legendary. That one sucked. Restart. Roll the legendary. That one sucked. Restart. Oh, that's a good one. All right, I'm keeping that one. And so then you go out and then you save again, and then roll for the next one. Because one thing that being a character that does a lot of ship battles. I have a fair amount of X deck because pretty much every captain's locker, I've gotten some that and Astra, which Astra used to be a lot more rare.
Yeah, it was right. It was moderate. You would get them when you were taking over a ship, or on in like bounty missions and the occasional repeatable mission. But like it wasn't super common. You'd get a couple of Astra on a repeatable quest sometimes, right? I don't feel like I ever got more than like 2 or 3 on a single quest.
Yeah, I mean, if you got 1 or 2, it was and it was like it had to be a high level place.
Yeah, yeah.
In order to find it. But now it's pretty much on every ship. I get at least 1 Astra and 1 X-Tech. And so, because I've taken out so many ships, I've got a good supply. So I have come across a couple of new encounters in planetary orbit.
Excellent.
So those have been fun. But yeah, it's played really great. I've also, by doing a lot of ship battles, you end up with a lot of the new ship tech
Right.
schematics.
Yeah, that's exciting. There's some cool new things you can build.
So I've got so many now that I'm choosing not to load some of them, like the mini reactor. You get 1 extra point of reactor power for each one of these that you put on your ship.
Oh, nice. Okay. I like there's one that reduces weight too, right? Like overall
Yep.
mass.
That
is excellent.
Yeah, and then the one that I've got loaded on that I have not seen anything from yet is it will call allied ships in if you're in a battle. I don't think any of my battles have lasted long enough for anybody to get the message and come try to help me.
Right.
And so I have not seen that one do anything, but I love the one that there's one that basically sends out an EMP burst and takes out enemy shields. And so you'll fly in, they'll start shooting at you, and boom, their shields are gone.
Oh, beautiful.
And,
Makes it
so
easier to
all your
disable them
firepower
quickly.
is just is towards their hulls.
Yep.
There's of course the one that gives you stealth when you boost. So that one's fun. There's a reflective one that when they shoot you, they're shooting themselves. So stop hitting yourself.
As far love it. As far as gameplay, have you found Delta yet? Have you started the Terran Armada content?
No, because I'm still pretty low level. So I think I just
on this. Yeah, right.
I
Recommended
just
50 plus.
passed
So.
30.
Okay.
So.
I've heard of some people starting Terran Armada, down around level 10 or so, but it's recommended 50 plus. It's better on a long-term character or a character already on a new game plus.
Yeah.
For a lot of it.
Yeah, I'm looking for some some good weapons, disassemblers to use against robots.
Awesome.
I was in a Muybridge lab building and got a nice breach shotgun that has Space Adept, and so I've been using that in my boarding routine.
So you got to have a weapon for that. That's one thing that I like. You have to remember to actually swap them out and use it. But I've got a 1-inch punch revolver called Space Punch that is 30% more effective in space. And I'm like, yep, I'm boarding. Switch it over.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely fun to be back in the settled systems.
That's awesome. Awesome.
There are a lot of things that I miss from from the Genesis.
Well, like you said, your favorite version of Starfield right now has been Genesis, and your favorite version of Fallout 4 has been London for a little while. And, that happens. A lot of our chat are in Starfield. Rando is just downloading it now. He gave in with our discussion tonight. And Suliore and Lee and the others have been playing a bit. I got in a bit myself. I have to wait. So for my gameplay right now, I did play a little Starfield this week. I'm waiting to jump in hardcore until after the play on Sunday. So I'm doing, Wasteland Theater Company stuff, and I have a play on Sunday. So this week I was in 76 and recording some stuff for the titles and credits, and of course, last weekend for play rehearsal and things like that. So this week was a decent amount of 76 for various things and events. It's funny, the changes to 76 that have happened, the new way to play, they have made, with the leveling of events and changing the rewards and keeping them so that they're more interesting and you get something all the time. There's a chance of party smashers showing up. They're being better tended to the point where you can actually jump in. And if you want to play 76 and all you want to do is hop event to event to event, you can pretty much do that now, Ray. Like there's no downtime. It's not the way I like to play. You know what I mean? I do like playing with people. But most of the time, I'd rather explore, take my time, think about what I'm doing, do some sneaks, solo missions. But when you're in the mood to just play with friends and you just want to get in there and get some levels and have fun, 76 can be a nonstop party. There's just always events happening, event after event after event. So I spend an evening doing that and just acquainting myself with the feel of the new systems, and that's a good time. But then Starfield, I loaded it up just to see how it ran. I had to at least check out cruise mode. Ray, the first time I got in there, so I heard a lot of good things about cruise mode, Tuesday, Wednesday. But then, of course, like Gopher put out that video, right? And he's like, I spend 10 minutes complaining and failing to explain why I am frustrated.
Yeah. And it's, I get that. So I started, I couldn't figure out, I kept trying to hit the boost button to, see if that was what would speed it up, but I couldn't get it to speed up. Because something doesn't always happen, I am more inclined to just, fast travel to the next planet so that I can, initiate an event.
Right.
And have my action, and I need ships, I need people to fight, I need
action's exciting. We can do like we have been. I totally get that. But so I saw that video. I know Lee was having, figuring out at first too. It isn't, even though there's a pop-up when you first log in and you first, check out our new cruise mode, blah, blah, blah. And there is a little thing on the interface to initiate cruise mode. And I like, you click it, it widens, it looks really cool. I like the feel of that. But then, and then you can see different locations you go to. So you can click on one of them, or you can just turn up the speed and orient. But you're right, because you don't go that fast unless you boost speed all the way up with the throttle on the left. And there seem to be like 3 or 4 levels on the left. And then you select something. And if you do the autopilot and engage that, and you're at the highest speed, it's actually pretty fast. Like you can travel with the system pretty darn fast. It boosts right up and gets you there. But if you don't do autopilot and I don't know how to change the speed besides like these 4 throttle levels, But still, the first time I did this, Ray, and I'm like, I load in, I'm a new Atlantis actually, because I'd already gone to the lodge. I had built my quantum entanglement device, got that started, got everything I needed to do that, and just a few things. I'm like, okay, I got to do this. And then I'm like, now I got to try a cruise. And I get out there, and I just like set course to Gagarin. And I start flying, and I'm not using autopilot. I'm just flying, and it's been like 30 seconds, 40 seconds. I'm like, okay, I'm going as fast as I can. I'm moving. I went past the planet. I'm moving further away. And then I just ease off on the throttle. And I turn around, and I see Jemison, the planet with New Atlantis, and it's only this big. And I'm like, I've never been this far from Jemison. And it had, like the feel of looking back at Earth, like on the Artemis mission from the moon. You're looking, and like I've never seen it. It's that small, and I'm that far away, and I'm really flying in space finally in this game that I've been trying to fly in space for 2.5 years now. And I was so happy. I was like, it was a moment for me, And so I like that. I like that you can see things. I found a few satellites. I found a chunks to go ship, like these little encounters you can find on the way. Like there are some new things, and if you want to orient them, you just click off the autopilot and you click over to them, or you keep going. The chunks to go. No, some of these things aren't new, but you see them now en route to other places, and you wouldn't before, which is really cool.
And that's and I will get around to that eventually because I want to see what opportunities there are in the new, space encounters. So I got to see what, what's out there to exploit.
Right. Yeah, exactly. To exploit, expand, explore, exploit. It's, autopilot's neat. There are two different types of events, with the Terran Armada and stuff. There's I believe it's incursions for the Terra Armada, and it's interdictions. they're interdifferent. They're both inters, that's something. But interdictions for autopilot, and that's when you can be attacked or you can run into things, and it'll automatically stop and slow you down. But if you autopilot, it's just really cool. It loads in, and yeah, I like cruise mode, but I do need to figure out how to control it. You know what I mean? To the point where I can do it manually, because I know a lot of people just want to set it and forget it and do autopilot. I actually like the idea of flying manually. I really do, even if it's not that exciting. I like it.
Well, and so you'll need to build a cruise mode ship.
Yeah.
That uses the new Drake cockpit.
Yeah, that Drake cockpit is so freaking cool, right? 8 people.
It's got back windows.
Yeah, you can see all around you. It's lifted up a little bit. You get like the Enterprise experience a little bit.
Yeah, so you get up and walk around, and you can actually see all around the the whole space of the ship.
Stars are flying by. Yeah, I know some of these new modules and stuff look cool. I've only, like I said, I only played a little bit so far, enough to just make sure it was running, check out cruise mode, fly around. Because I still have more mods installed than I should. Here's the thing. Yes, it's running with them. Okay, that's great. But I know they're interfering. So one of the mods I didn't uninstall that I had meant to before loading, before the update, is my high level armors mod. Okay, I have to get rid of this because we've got 2 new tier levels, got new things. But I was wearing a set of armor from it on the last save, so I couldn't just pull it off. And I didn't get to the Unity to create that safe save. So I'm going to have to essentially load it. I'm going to have to sell everything related to this mod and a few others, because the thing is that, like I said, it's running, but I know that it's technically overwriting the new settings. And that's going to be the thing with a lot of them. So like the new point of interest way that they've got the built-in cooldowns and the frequency and the type of things you'll see. Like the fact that I've got all these POI interest mods on top of the new system means that some of their settings are probably overwriting the new settings. So I'm not going to see the proper new settings. And the armor, the high-level armors, is going to be overwriting my other armors. And so I've got to get rid of all this and start fresh, so that then when they're updated to match and incorporate the new systems, it'll work. But right now it's like I'm cutting off, some of what the update is doing.
Yeah. I got to say, I'm not a huge fan of the new POI cooldown. Because it's really putting a cramp in my...
You can't exploit the same one like you want to.
My collapsed mind, high level gear collection is severely hampered by the fact that, I only saw one collapsed mine each planet. Like,
Oh
what's up with
goodness.
that?
Yeah.
I know there's hundreds of them. I've always found them. Where are they?
Oh, that's funny. That is funny. You'll have to, get a few new ones in rotation. But yeah, so I don't want to talk too long about my gameplay because we've got a lot of feedback to get to tonight and stuff like that. But done some Starfield, like I said, done 76. Enjoying actually playing the new systems because I mean, gosh, if we're a month and a half into the season, I hardly played 76 this season at all yet, and actually experiencing events. Oh, this is what the changes have done. That's cool. And some of the stuff on the scoreboard is cool. There's some fun stuff coming in. In the Atom Shop, there's some cool new NCR armor. I'm excited about that. Like they're adding lots of nice stuff. So 76 is good. Starfield is good. I'll jump in seriously in Starfield next week and hopefully start that new playthrough that I've been talking about for a year. We'll see. But no, it's got to happen. New Vegas is good. New Vegas, we are getting close to the end. We're going to be hitting the Brotherhood of Steel ourselves next week after our feedback. Excited about that. And also, I put in my gameplay, Welcome Home Artemis, because they splashed down just shortly before the show tonight. And made it back safe. 10 days in space, the furthest mankind has been from the Earth ever, as far as we know. Circling the moon. That's brilliant. Just so cool. So cool. But that's my gameplay.
With the new travel between planets feature that you were just describing, cruise mode.
Cruise in 97.
Do they? I mean, there's a reason hyper sleep exists in movies. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing to see out there. There's nothing to hit. We always think because of Star Wars, like, you can't fly through an asteroid belt because you'll hit something. Like, where in reality, like, those asteroids are like thousands of miles apart. Like, you can't even see the next one when you're approaching the asteroid belt or whatever. But you were talking. Hey, Ray, you were talking about. I don't know. Was it like when you were attacking a ship or something? You then acquired all of their crap too, or something?
Right. Yeah. When you sell the ship.
When you sell the ship. Oh, when you sell the ship, it gives you all the stuff that was on the ship, and
in the cargo.
Then you have to sell. Okay. I was thinking that, like, I don't even know what I was thinking. Like, if you destroyed the ship, like in a fight or something, it somehow
you don't need to loot
sucked
it,
on their, like, all their loot into your.
Yeah, no,
your
you get you only get what's in their cargo hold, which is pretty small. That's why I prefer to board the ships
instead of destroy.
Instead of destroying them, because when you board the ship, you kill all the bad guys that are on the ship. Take all their stuff.
Oh, you get even more loot.
Their loot, their cargo loot, the ship itself, high value real estate. Some of these ships.
Yeah, any contraband they might have on board.
Oh, yeah.
But then also you get access to the captain's locker. And so that's where all the good stuff is kept.
Including X-Tech
legendary weapons and spacesuits and stuff.
Yeah.
So if you're flying about in space and you got a bunch of stuff you don't want, how does trash work in space? Can you just, like, do you put it into a cargo hold and, like, eject it out into space, or what?
You can jettison
like
stuff from your cargo hold, right?
You do. You just drop it into space? That's funny.
You could absolutely drop into space. I mean, there are mods let you spacewalk too. So,
oh,
you could
that's fun.
Step outside and just toss the barrel or the bucket.
Yeah.
So, how will trash work in space then? Would it be like a belt of trash like asteroids, or will it be like a plastic island in the ocean? You know what I mean? Will it gather together by gravity and, like, into a central point, or will it rotate around something?
So in order to burn up, it has to, hit an atmosphere or some kind of stuff like that. So the majority of it would collect into belts and orbit around things.
Belts,
but, if you're ejecting,
balls. Okay.
But if you're ejecting outside of the orbit of something where it's not really caught, it's just going to keep going until it is eventually caught or something happens
by some other orbit. Yeah, it's just going to keep going in that trajectory forever until It's affected by some other thing's gravity, right?
Yeah, some force. Yeah.
Your poop is
Yeah,
going where
and
no poop
there's-
has gone before.
And there's a you know, when you go into a planet's orbit, you might have asteroid belt, but you also might have a junk belt. So there's all kinds of metal frames and barrels and junk
dead
just
satellites
floating.
whatever,
Yeah.
Yep. It's like the idea of
Space
objects in
trash.
space and, space trash, broken satellite parts, stuff like that could eventually, cause a bit of a clutter field around the Earth.
And so one of the mods that I ran with for a while let you mine that. So you could shoot
smart.
the space junk and get hardware from it.
Yeah, the junk, not the poop. We're not mining the poop.
You're mining
Yeah.
space poop. Yay.
Yeah, fertilizer for our greenhouses.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so definitely a warning. So I've had it happen to
Space
me twice
poop warning.
now.
Space
So
poop
this is
warning to
not-
follow.
This is not a bug with the new update, because this happened to me before too. So one of the things that you need to be able to produce ammunition at the workbench is solvent. And so the easiest way to get solvent is to build an outpost on Kodos, which is a moon of Aquila. And with a greenhouse, you need to have water, for the greenhouse. So I built, water pumps, a water tank, one of the big blue, junk consolidating units,
Mm-hmm.
and got it all hooked up and up and running. And then I left and went to Bessel to sleep, to generate stuff.
You sleep well over there. Yep.
Went back, and my outpost was still there. My my building structure was still there, but everything else was gone. I'm like, well, that's really weird. And so I went to build another one of the the collection units, and you can't build this because you've already got one.
Was it just destroyed?
You
What
can
happened?
No, it disappeared, but is still there. And so it, I was able to build a storage container on top of an item that was, still present in the build space.
So did it just not load? Like, I mean, if you had left the game
No.
and come back in, it might be there. Like,
No,
but
I
it-
tried.
Oh.
I left and came back.
it's like
I
when we had
saved
disappearing
and
turrets in
reloaded.
76 for a while. Yeah, there have been times when you build things and just don't appear anymore, but they're still there.
So I at least was able to get it to where I could collect some of the stuff, but I couldn't get to everything. I mean, I have other collection units in the area that are just disappeared, but I can't get to, I can't get to the
I
storage.
wonder
of it.
if you go to like supply line mode, you still can't even see them or hook a supply line to them. Maybe you can.
No, because you can't. I tried that. I tried just, generically clicking around. So and I even went and toggled clipping so they could see if, or, maybe they're just 10
Right.
feet under.
Yeah.
But no,
Nope.
they're gone. They're not there,
Wackadoo.
but they're
Wackadoo.
still there. And it's only ever happened to me on Kodos. And it's happened to me on Kodos 2 times in
I-
2
I
different
wonder
locations.
If it's mod related or location related, I don't know, because I did build a small base on Kodos and have trouble with it, but I haven't built anything big there.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing, and it's because that's the easiest place to to build a greenhouse and have domesticated solvent production.
Hmm.
So
Solvent. But yeah, Andrew, sorry. We were just starting to get over to your gameplay, I think, but got a little back on a Starfield tangent.
No, it's so back to Starfield. I fired up a new character. Did
Yes.
Max Sliders, one of my favorite pastimes. And got a really neat looking character. And looking at it later on, I was kind of like, it's got the weird cheek facial structures. It looks like the person or the descendant of the person who the weird giant mask from the first round of Fashnacht masks.
Yeah, that Fashnacht
like the
giant look.
weird giant like cheekbones popping out and stuff, and it's just sort of like a really odd looking character.
There they are. Yeah, I found your person. So I scrolled back and found them, and yeah, they've got like the weird Mickey caviar hair, like the kind of laid back, a little bit of bald spot, longish hair.
Oh yeah,
Really
with
weird lip liner.
We
Also,
call that the radiation hair in Fallout.
Yeah, I thought you named the character Max Sliders, like first name Max, last name Sliders. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I probably should. But yeah, the that's one of my favorite things. But I found it almost annoying in Starfield because there's just too many things to tinker. So it's just like, all right, I want to go left with the eyes and right with the ears, but it's not like that. It's
If you go to
left
fine
with
tuning, you can go too far.
The little the texture of the tip of the nose hairs.
Yeah,
and
you got to not go to
oh
the
my
fine tune
God.
section. Just do the big
Yeah.
sliders. Big sliders.
I should just keep it to big sliders because if you get into the little sliders and it gets insane, and then there's after the little sliders, there's the even littler sliders where it's like saturation of effect of 1 through 9 that you get to choose.
Yeah, and
you can
balance
just
between
balance
them.
between.
Yeah.
Good.
I was in
fucking
heaven with that.
Lord.
But I was also even I was annoyed. Even I was annoyed because of the fact that they don't actually label them all properly either. So you're like, am I messing with the philtrum or the nostrum here? What am I doing? Am I tweaking the filbert? Like,
Yeah, exactly. Good Lord. Oh, Lee posted my character. Yeah,
There's
such
your character,
such
yeah.
a creep. But
So,
really
I do-
interesting scars and really neat facial textures and stuff in there. It's
how
pretty
do you
cool.
take your game seriously when you do like that's something I've never understood. People who, like do their Oblivion wackadoo characters like that. How do you take the game seriously when your character is that bizarre?
Because you only see him from the back or first person. I mean,
So as long as the ass ain't flat, it's okay. Okay.
yeah. There's a reason that creep ass dudes make mods of girls with fine fannies. You know what I mean?
No, it's true. It's true. But yeah, that is one interesting character you've got there.
So no, I really, Oblivion was probably the best with extreme sliders, but you can get some good ones in Fallout 4 and stuff like that too. But so I had fun.
Some of your 76 characters too.
Yeah, like King.
yeah.
like
King was
King.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, really fat lifts and weird, really over accentuated features. Very. So I had fun messing around in the character creator and stuff, and I probably spent way too long. Like, what? Okay, so Jess is here, so it's not way too long. But for a normal person, I spent way too long in the character creator just messing and sliding and thing. And then right after I took this picture, it crashed. I was like, fuck. So I fired it back up, hoping that I would have this same, and then it didn't have anything. So like, it loaded in right to the point right before that I could create the character design. So it's like I had to go through character designer again, trying to recreate the character, and I couldn't. I could not make the same.
No.
I've got very close, but there's just some little things that I was like, fuck, did I go left or right? Oh, this Max Slider thing got me in the end. I couldn't, because I went too in depth with the fine tuning, so I couldn't actually recreate this character. And the one I created is just not as creepy, not as cool.
Well, what's great, you have the opportunity to do it again. You know what I mean? You can go to any enhance and you can play with their face if you want to.
Okay, yeah, I can tinker and stuff like that.
For about the cost of, feeding a family of 4 their chunks for the night, you can change your face. It's pretty cheap.
So yeah, but the play that I got into was as soon as that first little battle there on the space landing pad,
Mhm.
you get access to your first ship and the Frontier? No.
Yeah.
Yes,
What's it called?
the Frontier.
And then, my favorite thing is to turn tail from the main quest and just run off, right? So I hopped off the space pad and just started running around on the planet just because it's been a long-ass time since I've been in this game for real, and I just needed to reacclimate with the controls and see what was going on, So I noticed the little mining... for lack of a better word, in Fallout terms, it was a raider outpost just down the hill.
Yeah.
And so, not what faction is that? I can never remember all the different names.
They could be Spacers. They could be Crimson Fleet if they're pirates.
Maybe Crimson. I don't remember.
You've got Spacers, Fleet. You've got
And so I just went down and ran around to the factory, ran upstairs, got people, and then say, oh, I have a jet.
I guess
So
it
I
could
thought
be
I had a
Eclipse, but they're not
jetpack,
miners
but it's
usually.
like no, the jetpack doesn't work. That must be something you do later. I think you have to get training or something for that.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you need to get at least one level.
Okay. But the whole character creation thing, I forgot how you have to choose, it's very similar with the traits and the perks and the whatever. It's like there's 3 traits or whatever that line up and form your background and all that stuff. So I'd kind of forgotten about all that. So it was fun to go through that beginning process of the game. But I still don't know what I'm doing. I still find, even though my main complaint back in the day was that melee was sort of underappreciated in the game, they leaned into the the ballistics and laser weapons way more, and just sort of I felt
they've
they were
made it
ignored
better
it.
over time. It's
Right.
gotten better, but yeah.
Even though and I still lean melee in a lot of my gameplay. I tried to use I'm gonna mispronounce the word maelstrom, whatever.
Maelstrom.
Machine gun.
Exactly.
Is that what it means? Is it or is it
no.
kind of machine gun?
No, but I mean, there's just a bunch of different machine guns. The
Okay.
Maelstrom's one of them, but yeah.
So I try to use the guns that they're obviously tossing at your feet and here, use the. I just I'm without. And I forgot that there is am I not finding it? Is there no in the systems menu there is an auto aim assist type thing?
Yeah,
but
it's a little bit of an assist.
But there's no VAT system.
No, of course, no. There's no
nothing
Vault
like that.
Tech in Starfield,
So-
so there's no Vault Tech targeting system.
Well, I know, but they give you a communication watch, which is the exact same fucking equivalent as a Pit Boy. So why not give you some sort of imaginary targeting system from the watch?
Yeah,
I
no,
mean, come
no,
on.
you got to actually aim and shoot. But the aim assist does
I'm
help
just-
a bit.
In what sense?
get
And there's
better.
I find it so odd. Oh my god, when I'm looking down the barrel of my gun, left shoulder button is my aim and right is my shoot. You know what I mean? I'm aiming with one and shooting with the other, and I feel so that's sort of in order to shoot something, you aim and then shoot. So I go left trigger then right trigger. You know what I mean? In Starfield, I feel there is no left trigger. The right trigger is the shooting is aiming. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I keep my muscle memory keeps Fallout doing whatever my command. So and I think I have
You
a
can
second.
still pull left to aim,
Yeah, you've
but-
got to have some kind of iron sight.
Yeah, you do. It's still left
okay.
trigger.
I must have
But it
moved
depends-
it or something
it
then,
depends on the
because you can
weapon.
remap. So
Depends.
I've remapped my controller, and I think I lost because I can't find the look down the sights.
Yeah, that should always be
aim
left
function.
trigger. And so you
Okay.
may have moved
I
it
moved
or
it,
something.
and they make it way
But-
too easy to move your fucking buttons around.
There are a few, luckily you can reset default, but there are a few weapons where you don't really notice it as much either. You know what I mean? Where it barely shifts to the middle. So you might
And-
be trying some of those too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm still barely into the game at all. But anyway, it's after like getting all the the pirate guys there and looting a bunch of stuff, I just decided to run out into the find the edge of the map. My favorite thing. And I kind of you look at the map, you zoom out, you see, oh, it's really just.
That's not what
organized
Starfield is. There is no edge of the map.
I know.
No, there is. It's
I mean,
there.
It's
You
literal
just can't-
squares,
you
but
can't
diamonds.
see it, and you can get to the edge of it and not know it.
Yeah, you can, and you hit it, and you're
it-
there,
and
but
it
it
says
doesn't
you
mean
cannot
anything.
go this way, but it says it
Right.
in a more creative way. It says it in a
But
space
it doesn't
way.
mean anything,
What does it
and
say?
then you could just hop and be somewhere else. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
But what I was trying to do is I just do the scanning thing, just get the resources. I just saw that. Oh wait,
Sure.
I have 1 of 5. Okay, let's see because I'm just sort of like relearn. Okay, I've got the scanner thing. Okay, so you can leave it open. Does it drain anything when I have it open?
Nope,
Let's see. There's
it
no
does not.
magic meter or
you can
whatever.
play with scanner always on.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I can just leave the scanner on and run around. Oh, and like, so I found the first 4. They call them elements or whatever, resources, whatever. Go ahead.
Resources.
Yeah.
But remember that you might not find all of them in one place. So you can load in and you can scan everything, but if there are multiple biomes on a planet, some of the flora and fauna, some of the plants, some of the creatures, some of the resources may not be in every biome.
Mm-hmm.
So it will usually pop up and it'll say biome complete when you finish everything in that
I see.
biome, but
Okay.
it might still only be 4 out of 5. So make sure you're
So I
watching
have to go
for
to a
that.
different biome and stuff.
Exactly.
Well, I had also forgotten that you can like zoom out and scan the planet
right.
from your like ship scanner or whatever.
Mhm.
I was just running around with like my watch scanner thing on. So
Yeah,
Which is
two
great.
different things.
Yeah, very different.
Okay, so the space scanner doesn't like tell you what resources are on the planet. What does the space
No, it tells
scanner
you.
do?
That's what it does do. The space
Oh.
scanner tells you what resources are on the planet, but it doesn't scan them.
But it doesn't count
Oh.
towards scanning a planet.
Okay, it's
So
I'll
say-
understand it more once I play with it more.
Yeah,
But
just a really quick explanation is say you're scanning from up high and it says there is iron and argon in this area. You're like, cool, there's iron and argon.
But it won't
have
tell
to
you
land there
where
and
it
actually
is.
scan the iron, find the iron and argon, and actually scan it for it to count. Yeah.
and
All it is telling you is, but also keep in mind that is exactly how you don't play Starfield. There is no right or wrong way, but
you just said it's the wrong way.
but exactly how you don't play Starfield if you're a person who does not want to get frustrated and be like, this game feels pointless, is to scan random planets, land random places without quests, and just run around. It's great. It's a vibe. I enjoy it in dungeons, but that is exactly the wrong way to play Starfield.
But
for
that's
most
how I
people.
play Fallout.
I know, and
that's how
that's
I
why
play-
it's exactly the wrong way.
that's
And
how I
that's people
play
like, oh, this game is
Skyrim. I
just
just
Skyrim.
run
This
the
game is
other
just
way and
Fallout.
go
And I
off
hate it
that.
because it's not. And like,
I go, what's
like-
over that hill over there?
Yeah.
oh,
But so usually the thing that I do is since I've already got it, I'll go around the landing pad. When you first come out of the mine, you meet Barrett, you do the little pirate battle before you take off with Vasco for the first time. If you run around in the area right around that hilltop,
Mhm.
you can find all 5 resources
Oh,
that are
really?
on that planet.
oh, you mean on Crete? They're all right there, pretty much.
No, not Crete.
Vectera, the one you
Vectera.
start at.
starter point.
Yeah, the one you started. Yeah, the starting.
Because I was about to say that I was in the. It was just like I found the first 4 immediately, and then
Yeah.
the 5th one took me like an hour. But I wasn't bummed because I was like just exploring and sort of
Yeah,
relearning the
yeah,
controls
they're all right
and
around
stuff.
that, and that's a good way to get a little bump in XP to start off, so that you
is.
can start taking, skills, right away.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's fun. And I'm not saying you shouldn't play that way because, I mean, the truth is, I did it as well. Will did it too. When Will first played Starfield, he was on Crete for 6 to 8 hours, I think, before he left the planet. But like, because it's new and you got to figure it out, like it really is what caused a lot of people to feel like the game was aimless or pointless because that is exactly what you don't do. That's like a side thing. You know what I mean? Scanning, wandering random planets is the settlement building of
Yeah.
Starfield.
I mean,
Completely optional.
it can be what you do.
I love it because you take pictures and you just wander and you see cool creatures, and that stuff is fun.
And you get you get good XP.
Mhm. But-
You get more XP if you kill the creatures instead of scan them.
Which is lame.
Oh.
You get more
Can
XP
you-
for fighting than
can you
anything else.
scan
in
then
Starfield,
kill?
Which is the worst.
Double
thing about
dip?
it.
No.
Oh.
Killing also scans them. So
Oh, I see.
it's all in one action. Kill them.
Yeah.
Kill them first because that gets you the most XP.
Scan them and skin them. That's the way Ray does it.
You got to
can eat 'em
scan at
too, I
least one,
suppose.
but you can kill the rest. So
No, you can kill them all.
Indeed.
The Beastmaster kills them all.
But yeah, Starfield. I'm glad you're in there. I'm glad you're doing it. It's a vibe.
I still haven't left the play. I'm just running around. So
Enjoy
you
that.
say
Just
you say
don't expect to get all your resources in
get
one place.
off the
That is one
planet,
thing.
Andrew. See, but I'm so intimidated by the ship building aspect of the game still because I never got it down and I never got it right, and everyone else has so much fun
So
with
There are
it.
people,
Just steal ships.
or just buy them. There are people who have played Starfield and finished the game and did multiple faction quest lines, 100 hours or more, never built a ship. There are people who love the game, never built a ship. So it's okay.
But
I don't get those people.
the perks and stuff that I chose were like your oxygen and stuff are more efficient on Earth, but less so in space because I don't plan on doing lots of like space battles and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
it's-
and that's smart because even if you do a lot of space battles, those are small confined spaces, and so you're not doing that much running. When you're on
Right.
planets, all you do is run.
see,
True.
that's exactly opposite of in reality, where the space part is much larger. Okay.
Well, it's no, you're only using up oxygen when you're on a ship. Inside of a
okay,
ship,
I see what you mean. Your
Not
oxygen supply. Right,
flying
okay.
around space. Yeah, because space is big.
Space is very large. Lots of nothing up there. Let's see. What else did I do for my gameplay? I ordered 3DS Golf, the Mario Golf game for that because been playing a bunch of them on, the NES emulator on this. And by the way, I played one for must have been Game Boy Advance or Game Boy Color or whatever that one is. And they have like this whole story mode in a golf game. It's really weird. I was like running around. You got to like collect stuff and buff stuff up, and like it was strange. Because so I want to kind of explore that game a little more. It's almost like they took aspects of the collect 'em all Pokemon stuff and tried to incorporate it into like a build up your golf stat stuff. I think I don't really understand what's happening yet, but it seems kind of fun.
So can you go in the water hazard and collect better golf balls?
You train your pokey caddy to dive in there and get it for you.
Nice.
No, but so I got the 3DS golf game too. And God, 3D. I know I've complained about this about Nintendo, but like as soon as their game is like more than 5 years old, it's all of a sudden, instead of being like an old, like used game, they become collector's items. And so like they're like $80 for a fucking old game, and it sucks. I found one for $30 on eBay, so I picked it up. But it's crazy how many people want to charge, $70 for old Nintendo game. Hundreds of dollars for the, original Zelda Wind Waker. Blah, 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 blah. God, who cares if it's original or second print? Is that a thing? I know it's a thing in comic books. Who cares in video games? Like, and I didn't know there were pressings in video games. Like, collectors have game pressings. Like, what? Ugh, that's so
Collectors
stupid.
can collect anything. I mean, you know how
Oh
that
my
is.
God.
I'm like that with some of my old books. I'm like, well, this is the original Bane books printing and not the Random House printing. Like, I mean, we do things like that. Like, oh, I remember this cover was from the
No, but
84
it's-
edition.
It's weird. That's awesome in certain fields, but it just seems weird to me that it also transferred to video games. Like,
It only did for some people,
Yeah.
gold box stuff and new in box. But like, I
And,
think
and it's great
mostly
that the
it didn't.
84 edition is the old edition.
Oh my God. It's all relative.
But yeah. So anyway. Been playing 3DS golf today. It just showed up today. Been playing that. Lots of fun. Messed around with Fallout 4 creations.
Nice.
I was sort of stumbling through that because I was like, when I was loading it, it was still playing the old version. I didn't then realize, oh, wait, I have to go back out, quit everything, go back in to load this new version, even though it's going to try to load my other thing, and then, like, it's not going to have, like, all my mods. I had to redo, like, all this. So I spent tons of time, like, tinkering with, like, load order and stuff, and like just learning the sort of creations list because I haven't messed with creations ever really in Fallout 4 much. And so I was just because I wanted to just see what was in the game that's like new, you know?
Right.
But
Because there's a lot of it mixed in.
just starting like a new character, there's just like a lot of sort of like build up to get to a point where you get enough strong enough to go out and run off and do all the cool stuff to discover all the new stuff and whatnot. So I was like, maybe I'll just load an old character, but then, you know, spent half the time like loading and mods and like turning stuff off and like figuring out which save is this, and then like I loaded something up and then like I go to save and it's like, oh, you have exceeded your save file limit. So I had to go in and like find characters I didn't want anymore. It was just annoying trying to get everything fired up and in line. So I need to find the balance of starting a new character with a clean slate, yet be powerful enough to like go out and have like see all the new stuff without having to do the whole build up part to it. And then I was thinking, wait a second, there's probably a mod for that. They have it in 76, right? Where you can start at level 50 or whatever. So
Yeah, you can boost it and start at level 20 now.
but
Yep.
you don't even need that in Fallout 4 because they give you all the I was kind of doing a min-max type thing. Everything was ones, except intelligence, charisma, and luck. I know this is such a, what is the Berenstain Bears paradox thing called? I forget what that's called, but I know that the
Star Course.
no, I wish it was Star Wars. Gosh, I'm not going to remember what it was.
It's the Mandela effect you're
The
thinking of.
Mandela effect, where it's something like changes names.
Mhm.
But there's just stuff in here like the, God, I don't even remember. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to remember. Anyway, there's things that are slightly like different.
Right.
like,
Things that aren't exactly how you remember
uh,
them. Sometimes it's because the game's changed. Sometimes it's the way we remember them. Isn't quite right.
Things that we. Anyway, yeah. So I've been messing with Fallout 4 creations and Starfield new character. That's what I was doing this week. Lots of Nintendo golf. Just it's something to zone out. Don't have to pay too close attention to. Oh, I did load Dragon Quest.
Right. Played a little more of that.
Yes,
a little more of
that
that.
game is so fucking hard. I'm used to games like that having a party. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah. The
I'm
second one has a
alone.
party, but the first one is just you by yourself.
whoa! Like
Mhm.
I'm used to like having someone else to be able to attack, so I can take a step to heal. Like that, you don't get that luxury in this game.
No,
where
you
can,
got to grind a bit in the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just you against the world.
and I keep resetting a lot, and I'm not sure. It's like when each time you die, does do things I collect?
I don't remember.
I think progress is still collected
It
when you
should-
die. Like I think.
It should,
Yeah.
but you really just want to go out there, fight, go back to town, sell,
Yeah,
sleep,
yeah,
go
yeah,
out there,
yeah.
fight, and save in between.
But I'm finding like, I want to do like 5 battles and then go back. Like I'm finding I can barely get through one before I have to go back through town. It's like, oh no, that slime really kicked my ass. That little cute she slime or whatever.
They'll
it's
bite
called.
your ankles. They
Oh,
will.
Man,
They will.
they're toughies. All right, we got lots of feedback to get through tonight, so
Sure
I
do.
suggest that we are here. how do you want to do them tonight, Jess? Who do you like first?
Let's you know what? I think you got him in the order you played. So let's jump right into the Suliore. He's got the longest this week. Yeah.
Let's check in with Mr. Suliore.
Hey, all you cool cats and dolls. This is Ace Rockwell back with another report from my trips around the Mojave Wasteland. Yeah, love being back in the Mojave after my time in Big Mountain. And apologize if you hear something in the background. Suliore's dog will not stop chomping on that stupid bone. He's nice enough to let me hang out with him for a little bit. So, I mentioned in the last one that it was time to finally talk to the Omertas, see if they're fit to stay on my strip. But I also had another reason for going in there. I had talked to Carlitos in Vault 21. He was worried about his girlfriend Joanna, who was an escort there. Carlitos had once been a chairman there, but with the way things were going, he was afraid for both of their wives. This was interesting. I already needed to go in there and inspect the place, so figured what the hell. Every casino tries to confiscate your weapon, so I made sure to have a couple of things on me that they wouldn't find. My weapon being Chance's knife and Boone carrying the Mantis gauntlet. Joanna was stationed in the back, and after talking to her for a little bit, we went back to her room and had some quality time for free. Sorry, Carlitos. But after the pleasure, it is time for business. I told her what Carlitos' plan was, and she was a little worried. She was all for getting the hell out of there, but she was worried about getting caught and herself and everyone that she knew personally getting killed. Big Sal wasn't a guy to mess with. I also confronted her about how she was addicted to at least one chem, probably more, and she swore to get off of it. Went back to Vault 21 and talked to Carlitos, and he told me his plan had to happen after midnight. He has a couple of hired guns he'd had me talk to, and they were going to be with us just in case we get caught. So I went back and talked to Joanna and told her the plan. She said she had a disguise to get out of there. People go in and out of there all the time. Nobody would notice. So me, her, a couple of other girls made a break for it. Get all the way to Freeside with Carlitos and his two bodyguards, the Beards. When a few of the chairmen show up, they said they pegged us right away. However, I told them that this was all a deal between Carlitos and Big Sal. Carlitos had been taking money from them, and this was payment for that. They believed that BS, and that was the end of that. On the way out, Joanna told me about what Big Sal's plan was for the strip. He was wanting to spark a revolution, overthrow Mr. House, which now is me, so yeah, I'm not going to deal with that bullshit. Gotta put a stop to it. So I head back to Gamora, and I'm not going to get distracted by any of the other girls there, and talk to Cachino. Cachino initially told me to fuck off until I found his diary. It had some pretty sensitive information that he didn't want getting back to the boss. He wants to overthrow Sal, and you know what? After what I've heard, I agree with that. So he tells me to talk to two different people under Sal's employ, Clandon and Troik. Regarding Clandon, I'm supposed to find out just exactly what it is that he does for Big Sal, and he wasn't exactly forthcoming. He was just kind of like, oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yeah, okay, I've heard that story before. Tried to dig up a little bit of information about it, and I couldn't find anything anywhere, so I decided to take matters into my own hands, literally. Punched him a couple of times, and then Eddie killed him. It just so happened that on his body he had a journal that detailed everything he did. Just so happens that innocent-looking Clandon is a mercenary. He's a bomb maker and also some other media that kind of makes sense considering this is Gamora after all. Cachino is pretty satisfied with me killing him, so that was that. As far as Troik goes, just so happens that this poor guy was being blackmailed for murder. Guy was definitely a junkie, but from what he told me, what he took wasn't enough to cause one of these blackouts that he apparently had. So I did a little bit of digging, actually broke into Big Sal's room and found some information that details everything that happened on his terminal. Troik's role in all this is he's been smuggling guns for Big Sal that were going to be used in his revolution. However, given Troik's expertise, he decides he's going to blow them all to hell. Fine by me, less I have to worry about. So I bring all this back to Caccino, and he says it's time to confront the boss. Sal and Nero seemed to know we were coming because they were both armed to the teeth. They tell me to sit down on the couch while they monologue. I was able to convince him as a last request, since I'm apparently dying anyway, to tell me the plan, and he was happy to oblige. And goddamn does he love using the word fuck. I swear I don't think I've heard anyone use it that many times in a sentence ever. But at the end of it, I told him that Nero was a turncoat, and Sal took care of him for me before we put him in the ground as well. Caccino thanked me and promised me that under his leadership, this was going to be a new Gomorrah. He's going to keep it in line. I told him he'd better or I'll be back. Now, to take care of the great cons. I'd been up to Red Rock Canyon before, but nothing seemed out of the ordinary there. This time, however, they had a representative from the Legion there who swore that if this were under any other circumstances, he'd shoot me where I stand. Yeah, good luck with that. Been shot before, and you see how that went. Apparently, Papa Khan has a deal with the Legion that they were going to be under Caesar's leadership, which Caesar's already dead, so I guess it would be the legate. And I know how the Legion work. They're not going to just have them in their army, they're going to have them as slaves. I actually found Carl, that's the Legion guy's name, found his journal in the room that he was staying in, and it detailed all of that. Brought it to Papa, but he didn't believe me. After leaving the compound, Regis, Papa's right-hand man, tells me that he understands where I'm coming from and doesn't want anything to do with the Legion either. But Papa's not going to be convinced until he hears it from his men as well. So I need to convince Regis, Melissa, who is another one of their leaders, and Jack and Diane, who make the drugs for them. Go and see Jack and Diane first, and they seemed completely tripped out of their mind, which, go figure. But I convinced them that the Legion are bad men, and they're not going to take too kindly to them dealing in chems. They agreed really quickly, and also I convinced them to make stim packs instead of Psycho and Buff Out and all that shit. Go and talk to Melissa, and she was pretty easy to convince as well. All I had to tell her was that the Legion does not accept women into their military, but instead they'll be made slaves, or, if they're lucky, housewives, and be continually pregnant and making new legionnaires. She was like, yep, screw that, I'm out of here. So I go back to Regis with the news, and he decided to side with me as well. Bring the word to Papa, and he was none too pleased. He turned on Carl, and Carl ended up as floor decor, while Papa and the rest of the cons went back to eating their dinner. Had a little bit of a conversation afterward, and Papa said that, yeah, they're not going to support the Legion anymore, and instead they're going to leave the Mojave. As long as they're not fighting alongside the Legion, I don't care. Went back to talk to Yes Man, and he says that he's pleased, because of course he is, he's programmed to be. And now it's time to turn the attention to the Brotherhood of Steel. Myself and Veronica are still pissed at them about how they treated her, and also how they took out that Followers of the Apocalypse outpost. I think it's time for a little payback. Not to mention, they're dangerous. They can really hurt my chances in the upcoming battle. Time to handle this. But until then, why don't I turn you over to Suliore?
You really had fun on this one, didn't you?
Maybe a little. Can you blame me, though, after all the shit that I've been through? Well, fair, I suppose. So, yeah, definitely enjoyed dealing with Deal Marriages again. And, Ace did get a little wild. Not the first time he has in this playthrough. I've been to the Atomic Wrangler, after all. But, I could not find any info on Clandon, so Rando had said that he just resorted to punching him, and that worked for me, too. I think that there's information in his room, but I couldn't find it. And I also hear that you can talk to Nero first and convince him to kill Sal. But, yeah, I convinced Sal to kill Nero, and yeah, you dirty, rotten rat. It was fun to watch. Regarding the cons, though, I did go up there and talk to them, but I guess I didn't do it at the appropriate time because Carl wasn't there at the time. And I thought I was screwed after talking to Papa. I forgot that you had to talk to him first and then leave before you really officially get the Oh My Papa quest. Which, yeah, that one was pretty quick too. The thing that took the longest was finding the location where Melissa was at. Had to take out several death bunnies just outside of there, but that wasn't too bad. Some of them I was even one-shotting. Regarding the Brotherhood of Steel, I wasn't initially going to take them out, but after thinking about it, yeah, I'm still not happy with how they took out that Followers of the Apocalypse outpost. So from a character standpoint, I think that not only Ace would want to get back at them for that, but Veronica would too. So anyway, that is it for me. I've already gone long. So until next time, I will see you all in the wasteland.
And I was kind of dragging my toes with Mr. House at the end of that conversation when he was like, hey, I need you to go over and kill these motherfuckers.
Right.
And I was like, wait a second. I spent like a significant early portion of this game like developing relationships there and doing all their quests over there and doing all this stuff over there. Like I have mixed feelings about this now. I kind of forgot. You can
enter, buy, and sell.
Yeah.
But he won't take no for an answer, will he?
No, he doesn't. He makes you agree to go deal with them, like in order to, complete the quest or whatever.
It's like finally one of the first playthroughs ever where they actually kind of won you over a little bit.
I was just thinking, this playthrough, I am just not getting along with anyone. Like everyone is attacking me on sight except the fucking Brotherhood.
Like, yeah, they were in a bunker. They weren't, subject to your murderous rampage on the surface.
Oh, good Lord. Those early days were...
I forgot how bad you were at first.
So seriously, I'm like getting attacked on sight by absolutely everyone except for the boomers and the fucking Brotherhood of Steel, basically. So it really pains me to have to go like off all these people now if I want to continue on the Mr. House quest line. I'm feeling the tension.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That is the thing about having an assigned faction for a playthrough. Sometimes you've got to change what you might actually want to do with the character at this point. Yeah. Rationalize it.
That's the whole getting you out of the comfort zone type thing too, I guess.
Yeah. Although, again, being buddying up with the Brotherhood.
That is outside of my default. Yeah, you're right, exactly. That's totally outside of my comfort zone. Oh, and I remembered the Mandela effect thing that I blanked about earlier. I was talking about my character build and like my special assign, and I said I did charisma like 7 and whatever like with luck and intelligence. I specifically picked 7 because local leader 2 is needed for thing, and like
but that's 6.
And see, there you go. And I looked at the thing and it was 6. And I was like, wait a second, I've always picked 7 because I've always picked 7. And like it's totally a Mandela effect in my head. Like charisma 7 is local leader, but it's
not. It's 6. Yeah, and I wonder if you go back to old characters if you did always pick 7, or
I don't know.
Had been 6 and you just remember it differently now.
Yeah, but that's totally like it was just so like innate into the back of my brain. It's like, it's a
the kids
7,
are all 6'7" now. That's why you did it.
Oh no, fucking 6'7", bro.
Bruh.
Sorry, I mispronounced bruh.
Well, so now the only thing you could possibly do now is just take Party Boy.
And
yeah.
Let's see, that's the won't get addicted to alcohol? What is that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you don't get addicted.
Don't let that charisma go to waste. If you got the Riz, you might as well use it.
Yeah. And it also doubles the effect.
I went back and I double checked and I reloaded the character and reloaded all the stats because I wanted to put that number somewhere else. So I loaded in, but I was just mad at myself for a little while. Because I was like, now I have to reload and do all this stuff and go back through and wait another 10 minutes, blah, blah, blah. But just because I was so certain it was 7.
It's funny how that happens.
Turns out I'm an idiot.
No, it's just you're right. You just misremember things.
Yeah, it's Berenstein Bears. I would have sworn my life on it.
Yeah, it's Berenstain.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right.
But-
Thank you, Suliore, for your feedback. Do you guys have other thoughts on Suliore's feedback?
No, it was great to hear about the adventure. I mean, I did feel like Ace got a little frisky there. Like you're helping a girl escape with her boo, but meanwhile you got to have a little dalliance first. I mean, hey, that's how you got to play it. One for the road, Ace.
I'm still creeped out that the character will not only use the gun, like I guess it's sort of symbolic, to go out and take revenge with the weapon that was used to kill you, shoot you, put you in the ground. That we can go back and get Maria and
and wear the suits,
the outfit, and like go to the hotel room and scrump in the same bed, and it's just so weird.
A therapist would have a field day with Courier 6. Out there cosplaying as the man who shot you with his gun.
God, that's odd.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So next we have Nicky and Calm Horizon.
Hey there, Fallout feed. This is Matt, Calm Horizons on the Discord, and with me again, I've got Nicky. Say hi, Nicky.
Hi, Nicky.
And this week we are doing the Omertas and the Cons.
He hasn't seen Star Trek.
Somebody had to.
He hasn't
out
seen
with
Star
the
Trek
Omertas
2
by trying to do the Bye Bye Love quest because I had done that before on one of my other characters, and I had forgotten how irritating it is walking back and forth between Joanna and Carlitos because of all of the loading screens that you have to get through to get to each one, and you go back and forth and back and forth. And I did that this time to find out that there's a speech check, and if you can't pass the speech check, you can't do the quest. So I did all of that for nothing. And then I'm like, okay, well, now what do I do? And I had to look it up to see, I'm supposed to go talk to Yes Man and ask about the Omertas. So I did that. He tells me about Caccino. And so, I make it back and go talk to Caccino. And Joanna had already told me all about how terrible Caccino was, right? So I wasn't super keen on the Omertas to begin with. And then I pickpocket his journal off of him, and it's awful too. And so, sure, Caccino, I'll help you kill your bosses. And he tells you about Troika, and he tells you about Clandon, and he wasn't very specific about what they did, but I knew Troika was smuggling guns to take over the strip, and so I went to go deal with Troika, and
because that's your strip.
That's right. So I ended up getting the evidence, whatever. It doesn't matter. I went the Troika route, and instead of telling him to go blow it up, I happily went into the storeroom with all of the crates, and I put all of the thermite on them and then exploded all of that. And then it's time for the confrontation between, Big Sal and Caccino. And when I get in there, I'm not super keen on Caccino either. So it really, the fight breaks out, and Big Sal and Caccino are fighting each other. And I was kind of just watching. I killed Nero because he was fighting me, but then the two of them are fighting each other. And I was just watching them go at it, and I thought, well, I was worried if Big Sal killed Caccino that somehow that would fail the quest or something. So I eventually came in and finished off Big Sal, and Caccino was all, this is great. The Omertas are on your side. Everything's fine. And I said, great. And then I went into sneak mode and snuck up behind him and killed him too. And then went down,
just leaving a trail of blood in every casino you go in.
Went into the suites and met up with Clandon and killed him too. Sneaky. And as I'm walking out the door, they're just the random Omerta thugs are they're so rude with all their comments, but once you do this quest and complete it, then they like you now. And so everybody at the casino is about how nice to see you again. And yeah, sure. See you later, guys. I just killed everyone that's important, but goodbye. So then heading out to the cons, and I get out into the lawn. Well, for one thing, God, that whole place is giant and there's nothing to do there. Like, this must have been some cut content something, because it's a huge place and there's just 4 people to talk to. Anyway, so go into the longhouse, talk to everybody in there, and it seemed like a complete dead end. And I was like, well, how am I supposed to progress this quest? Nobody will say anything. And I looked it up again and found out that all I needed to do was walk out the door. Like, yes, everybody won't talk to me until I leave, and then Regis comes up to me and tells me what's going on. So I go and talk to Jack and Diane, and I try to convince them to switch from drugs to stem packs, and I can't because I don't have speech. And so it really was looking like I was backed into a corner again where I wasn't going to be able to convince anybody of anything. And I was very close. I was this close to wiping out the cons because I'm going to deal with them one way or another.
You can't see it because this is an audio recording, but he was holding his fingers pretty close together.
And so I ended up checking my map and saw that I had a quest marker for how to convince the Jack and Diane. And so, okay. Like, I guess I just magically knew that I needed to go to Cottonwood Cove, but whatever. So did that, convinced everybody, come back, and then I needed to steal the journal, Carl's journal, and showed that straight to like Ray was saying, I showed that straight to Papa Khan, and he's like, all right, get out of here. And then everybody stands up and starts blasting Carl while he's still getting out of his chair. Like, they didn't even give him a chance to leave. It was just a dead body on the ground in the corner so fast. Anyway.
Did they tell Carl to get out of there?
Yes. Yeah. They were like, you're not welcome here. Get out of here. And then bam, bam, bam. Anyway, so convinced the cons to embrace their nominal roots and, leave the Mojave instead of being part of the Legion. So problems are solved, and no one had to die except bad people. I still get a kick out of the Omertas, though. That's so funny to me that I just completely sniped the entire head of the organizations. They were like, nice, welcome back. Okay, so that's going to do it. Say goodbye, Nicky.
Goodbye, Nicky.
And we will see you all in the wasteland.
And what was the Omertas in Spanish? It was like the not the silence, the mum's the word exactly. Or something. What was it?
Yeah, it was essentially like code of silence or the something way. Yeah.
You think, how many times do you think Nicky's actually seen Star Trek 2? You think he's ever seen Star Trek 2? There's no
I bet
way has that kid seen Star Trek 2.
He yelled Khan like a man who understands Kirk's pain.
That's such a pop culture thing. Like, you don't even need to know Star Trek to know that's, come on.
It's true.
I don't even know if I've seen Have I seen Star Trek 2?
You must have.
The first one's amazing. If you haven't seen the original Star Trek movie, everybody, one of the top 10 visual effects movies of all time. Seriously,
it is very much a movie of its time.
It's amazing.
I love how much you love that. It has that 2001 Space Odyssey vibe. So
I just love that digital, like the first digital effects stuff. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Oh, so great. And I don't even know if it was digital. It wasn't even digital back then, was it?
No.
That had to be. God, that wasn't like hand drawn. How they do that?
All kinds of
flares,
film
lens
manipulation,
flares and stuff.
Yep. You would think. God, I mean, there might have been some digital effects, but it would be mostly done on the film, right?
When was that first? I don't even know when computers would have been starting to use probably George Lucas, right?
Oh my goodness! I mean, probably around with Tron and stuff in the early '80s when they first started doing the occasional.
I know we talked about Tron recently, like last week, maybe. So
yeah, good. It was pretty recent. But
I'm a sucker for that. That era of visual effects. I'm a sucker for that stuff.
Talking about poor Mr. Calm Horizons with his, deliberately role playing, low speech, going back and forth, trying to arrange this
tough.
thing with
This-
Joanna and Carlitos. And
This quest specifically with low speech sucks.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
there are things you definitely can't do. Another takeaway I got from that was never play hide and seek with Papa Khan. Like he was talking about racing that too. And yeah, the guy does not know how to even count to 3. Just start shooting.
Bang, bang. When I was playing, I thought it looked like a weird name. In the feedback, I've heard it pronounced 2 or 3 different ways. What is Troika or Troiki or Troik?
So
What kind of a name is that, or what is that from?
I mean, it's probably, is Troika Russian, right? So, Ray, you said Troik, didn't you, when we were talking about it last week? And I thought it was Troika, but yeah, I've heard people say both.
I just don't know if I've ever heard that as a proper name outside of this character in this game.
Well, it's funny because one of the reasons I say Troika is because of the Troika Game Studio. And I always kind of wondered if it was a bit of a tribute to that, But that's spelled Troika.
Oh,
but
okay.
Troika is the studio that was founded by Tim Kaine and Leonard Boyarsky, who did the first Fallout game, and somebody named Jason Anderson.
Well,
and
that's
they did
a good
the games.
nod.
They did Arcanum, they did Temple of Elemental Evil, they did Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, the original, and then things kind of fell apart, because they were a contract for hire, kind of studio for hire, and, and they did those couple of games, but I think they couldn't keep it going after those 3, as far as getting
like
enough
video
work.
game hitman.
Right, but because they worked, Tim Kaine came over and worked on New Vegas, and they started Fallout. I always thought maybe Troika was a bit of a shout out to Troika, but it might just be Troik because it's spelled with an E. So
I just never seen that. That was interesting.
yeah,
And so often, weird names and stuff like that pop up in these games are like, oh, that is actually a scientist or an author or a blah. It's a reference to someone who I just don't know because 1950s subculture.
yeah. So I'm looking up Troika, where it comes from, or Troik, and it seems to be Eastern Europe and the U.S. for the most part.
Oh, okay. Cool. Alrighty. Thank you so much, Calm and Nicky. Let's see who we have up next. Looks like, our good buddy Vanessa. What's up, Van?
Making his way to Red Rock Canyon to meet with the Khans. Sterling Price has a spring in his step, happy to be back in the Mojave. However, he arrives at the Khan encampment to find its leader, Papa Khan, under the influence of Karl, an ambassador from the Legion. The Legion has promised that the tribe will be returned to its former glory in return for their support in the upcoming war. He knows from his time in Zion that the Legion makes these promises routinely, but in reality enslaves the tribes. Regis, the Khan's second-in-command, suspects something is up and wants Sterling to find evidence to convince other senior members of the tribe that the Legion offer is not what it seems, so that they can change Papa Khan's mind. To this end, he sneaks into the Legion ambassador's room and finds a journal confirming his worst suspicions. The tribe will be executed once they've served their purpose. Evidence in hand, he heads off to speak to Jack and Diane over at the Red Rock Drug Lab. He's already run a few errands for them some time back, so he's confident of gaining their support, which he does. More problematic is Melissa, not least because she's over in Quarry Junction, which is swimming in Deathclaws. He heads on over to Sloane and makes his way north to the quarry. He heads in cautiously, trying to avoid attracting the attention of more than one Deathclaw at a time. This works initially, but as he moves further into the quarry he can't quite pinpoint their locations. He heads up the abandoned conveyors, hoping both that it provides a good vantage point and that the creatures themselves can't climb up after him. Sadly they can. He's relieved to find that his shotgun knocks them back frequently enough for him to keep them out of clawing range, even the larger Alpha Deathclaw. His Pip-Boy indicates a large group of them still remaining, but it turns out to be some tiny babies with a parent. He can't quite bring himself to attack, so he gives them a wide berth and heads up the hill to meet Melissa. She has grand ideas of becoming a Legion lieutenant, but Karl's journal entries are enough to make her see that this will never happen. All required tribespeople now on side, he heads back to the canyon to speak with Papa Khan. His revelations cause the Khans to immediately turn on Karl, and while there doesn't seem to be a way to sign them up to his cause, instead, after a bit more chit-chat, they decide they will leave the Mojave and try and reclaim their former glory elsewhere. He heads immediately back to the Strip to see what's what with the Emertas over at the Gomorrah Casino. He gets a lowdown on the place from the receptionist and is directed to speak with Cucino, who turns out to be a grade A arsehole. He needs some leverage over him if he's to make any progress with deciding whether he wants them on side, though, although it seems unlikely at this point. He heads out into a courtyard where he learns from Joanna that Cucino is truly a nasty piece of work, but also most likely fleecing his bosses with some side hustles. He goes to find Cucino's room in the hope of finding evidence of his duplicity, but is completely unable to locate it despite lengthy searching. As a last resort, he attempts to pickpocket him, and surprisingly succeeds despite being in the middle of the bar. Like Karl before him, Cucino has obligingly kept a written record of his wrongdoing. Sterling confronts him with it, and while Cucino offers him caps and a partnership to take down Nero and Big Sal, the Omerta's bosses, Sterling decides to let him stew for a bit. Soft-hearted old fool that he is, he wants to undertake an unlikely bit of matchmaking to send Joanna and her boyfriend Carlito off into the sunset. After some running around that almost makes him regret his decision, he ends up helping a handful of the Gomorrah prostitutes sneak out of the establishment and make a run for it to Freeside, where they meet up with Carlito and a couple of hired guns. Once there, they deal with the 3 or 4 Omertas who followed them. They're soon all safely on their way, and Sterling returns to the casino. He extracts a few extra caps from Cucino in exchange for his silence, and is pointed towards some recent hired help, Troika and Clandon, to try and find out what plan the mob bosses have that requires this outside assistance. He heads off to find Clandon first. Their conversation goes nowhere, but with some further pickpocketing, he can't help himself now, he finds Clandon's sex tapes, which show that his tastes are sick enough to put even Cucino's to shame. This results in the untimely demise of Clandon, which is not conducive at all to getting him to spill the beans on what he's been working on, but Cucino seems to think they're ready to confront his bosses nonetheless. They agree that there will be a greater element of surprise if Cucino leads the attack at Sterling's signal. In the event, though, an opportunity presents itself while in conversation with Big Sal to tell him that Nero has double-crossed him. Predictably, they turn on each other, and Sterling wades in to make sure they're both dead. He then fires a headshot to take out Cucino and then a couple of nearby guards who come to investigate before making his way back out onto the Strip. There was no way he was going to be some kind of partner to that pig. Hopefully Yes Man wasn't relying on having either the Khans or Omertas on side for whatever plans he's cooking up. Thanks everybody, take care, see you in the wasteland, bye.
Beautiful, Vanessa, thank you so much.
Yeah, so the reason it's so easy to pickpocket Cucino is that nobody is looking at any place but the stage.
Looking at the naked people. Naked people on the stage.
Perfect opportunity.
Or at the buffet, right? Is this one of the strip clubs with a buffet? I always thought that was... yeah. I remember being relieved when I remembered you could pickpocket and stuff because I had tried to do the quest like the other way, running all over the place, doing all that other stuff, like try to find access to his room, go to his room.
It is
like
a bit harder.
Someone else explained how they went to his room and remembered, like, it's like, ugh, it's kind of a hassle. And then I was like, oh, someone said, who was it? The receptionist? I don't remember. Someone says something about, oh, maybe it's in the quest log or something. It's like, or optional, pickpocket plans from Cucino or whatever.
Right.
His journal. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll try that instead. And then, oh, yeah, so much easier.
And Ray ended up kind of doing both, right, Ray? Because you were in his room when you ran into him.
Yeah.
Oh, he popped in and then you stole his journal anyway?
Yeah.
What, off his corpse, Ray? Come on. Can you do it?
Yeah.
Can you
that
just
would
kill
have
him?
defeated the purpose. Yeah, you probably could.
Just right in his room?
But I'm with Vanessa on making your way to Melissa being a little bit more difficult. It really depends on your level there. But with the level that a lot of us have hit at this point, people in their 30s or 40, the death claws aren't that difficult now. They're wading through the Cazadors. They're making it over there okay. But if you're lower level, if you're closer to 20, like some of us, it can be a little dangerous, running into the 1 or 2 death claws there, or if you wander a little too close and fight some cazadors. But easy enough to convince her.
As everyone knows, the 40 is the new 30, but at the same time, my knees just aren't the same at 30 as they were at 20, and 40 was definitely a lot worse. I don't even want to see 50.
It's funny thinking about the whole level up thing with age, but how it works with our characters, too.
It's inverse.
Because, well, you think about experience levels in games and like the Oblivion level up messages. To hop tracks real quick here. But it always amused me that you get level up messages in Oblivion about, there's so much more to learn. You're getting you to the top of your game and all that, like level 10, level 15. And level 20 is kind of where it ends. And it's just like, you're at the top of your game. You're good, maybe even the best, but you're not getting any younger, and the others are catching up. And it's like, it makes you feel so old. You're only like level 20. It's like, oh, geez.
It's like your agility drops 20% every 5 years of experience.
When you
level.
spend as much time sneaking as some people do here, your knees have got to be shot.
Yeah, that's a great point. Your sneak should get worse as you level up. Or your knees make like really loud cracking sounds as you crouch down or something.
One of the games I played recently.
You had that in Fallout, didn't you? Oh no, was it Outer Worlds as a?
Yes, yeah, it's a thing that happens in Outer Worlds. If you whenever you bend down, your knees pop, and people hear that
because you sneak too much.
That's funny.
That was really clever. I really like that. But yeah, I enjoyed the feedback. I really enjoy Vanessa's story still.
All right. Up next, the Shoveler. What's up, John?
Hello, this is John, aka the Shoveler, with feedback for Butch Caldwell for The House Always Wins 4. So Butch returns to the Lucky 8, and after telling Cass about the Big Mountain, she seems pretty okay about being left behind this time. Eddie seems a little miffed. Maybe he wanted to take a shot at the Robo-Scorpions. I don't know. Butch takes Eddie and Cass to Gomorrah to see what the Emeritus? Anyway, they're going to see what those guys are up to for House. The receptionist sends Butch to Kachina, who of course tells Butch to beat it. Butch instead heads to his suite, and using a stealth board, he picks the hard lock on his suite. He finds the journal in the desk, then heads back. Kachino, of course, is ready to talk to Butch now. Butch does get 200 caps using the 60 barter, so I'm glad he's got that barter. He tells you to go see Clandon and Troik, but I can never figure out how to get any information from Clandon. Too bad there's not a database somewhere that I can look up information about games. Maybe they'll figure it out someday. Anyway, so Butch talks to Troik. Butch can get him to realize he shouldn't have passed out and killed the prostitute, but he can't get any more information. So off he goes to get information from Nero or Big Sal. This is when I forget that the proof is in Big Sal's safe in his office. So Butch wastes 2 stealth boys and searches Nero's and Big Sal's suites. And then I remember that it's in Big Sal's office. So after hacking the computer, he unlocks the safe and gets the proof for Troik. Troik is happy to know that he doesn't get stoned and kill prostitutes, but Butch doesn't have enough speech to convince Troik to destroy the weapons for him. So Butch takes the thermite and destroys the weapons. I kind of think it's too bad you can't take some of the guns with you. Can't even see them. Cochino is pretty happy that the weapons are destroyed, and again, Butch doesn't have enough speech to convince him to shoot Big Sal and Nero, so off Butch goes with Cochino to talk to Nero and Big Sal. Butch takes Cochino's advice and takes out Big Sal and Nero with the mysterious Magnum. I was honestly surprised that you get to keep Maria and the mysterious Magnum as holdout weapons. I really thought you would just get to keep the Silence 22. he got him with VATS. We took him out. Then Butch returns to the 38 and talks to Jane, and she says that Mr. House was giddy as a schoolboy after hearing about the Omertas. But then House, of course, asks how it went with the Omertas, so I don't know, maybe his memory is slipping. That ends, the House always wins 4 for House. I guess next time will be the BOS. I'm not really looking forward to that one. We'll see how it goes. Thanks for listening. Butch and I will see you in the wasteland.
Tell me about the Mysterious Magnum. Is this weapon belongs to the Mysterious Stranger?
So that's the one that you get from the Lonesome Drifter, who you can recruit to work at the Tops.
Yeah.
Theater.
The son of
Drifter.
the...
Yeah.
The son of the... Okay, so you can still have that perk and he'll pop up. Is there... Wait, so you actually see this character? You can go interact with this person?
It's highly intimated. Yeah, the Lonesome Drifter, you can talk to by the campfire. You talk to them. He talks about, what he remembers of his father and this weapon. And it's highly intimated that is who it is.
Lonesome
but then
Drifter.
when you use the weapon, it makes the sound. And so definitely it's one of those things. But the 2 weapons he talked about, Maria and the Mysterious Magnum.
Yes.
And that you're surprised you can use them as holdout weapons. So those aren't normally holdout weapons until your sneak is over 50. So that is the thing to remember, is that
smart.
you can only use the tiny holdout weapons when your sneak is lower, but as your sneak skill levels up, you hit 50, you can start sneaking bigger things. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another great way to weave in the perks and skills and such. That's really cool.
You can even sneak a Ripper once your sneak is high enough, Or
you can walk in with a fat man eventually. Your sneak's high enough. You just
I don't think you can go that far, but you can do you can sneak a grenade. I'm not sure where you're sticking that thing, but you can do that. Or
is there a fat man in the game? There's not. Is there There's not a fat man in this game, is there?
Yeah. Jeez, for heavy weapons.
Machine. What's the big rotating machine gun? Minigun. There's not a minigun either, is there? Why doesn't the Brotherhood have miniguns? They have miniguns. They have laser weapons.
Wow. No, there's a minigun in New Vegas. There definitely is.
I'm
sure super mutants have them.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm positive.
Oh, super mutants. You're my... No, I don't remember.
And probably even Brotherhood. Yeah. But as far as the fat man, I'm trying to think of one. And it's escaping me right now. But I would think there's got to be.
Yeah, there's definitely miniguns.
There are. Okay.
Yep.
But
it's called the M42 Fat Man in this one. That's why the name is different. It's the M42 Fat Man.
M42 Fat Man. Okay. I just haven't run into it yet then.
But thanks so much for that feedback. I also like the pronunciation there too. I like how he had the same troika thing with us, but we also had Omertas. I'm with you too, and some of the others. Yeah. Koshino.
Where did you say this Lonesome Drifter fire pit is?
Isn't he on the road north of Novak normally? You run into him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, before you get to Boulder City.
Okay. I might go see if
there's
I can
a
search
billboard.
This person out.
So, and he's also an entertainer that you can hire to
at the Tops. Yeah.
For the Top show.
Strip at the
plays the main guitar.
Oh, play guitar. Okay, sorry.
No, he's not. He's not stripping at Gamora.
Yeah,
he's really talented.
You can convince him to give you the weapon, or you can kill him to get it.
I've got a speech of 100. There's no need to go killing people, Ray. I've already burned enough bridges.
Yeah,
tried to right my ways in my older years.
It was hated by every single faction.
See, I've learned the error of my ways, though, Ray. And with these last few years I have left, I gotta learn.
Possibly
from
too
my
little,
lessons.
too late. While your knees are still good.
While everyone else is dead in my wake, now is a good time to learn a lesson about morality
and loneliness.
Loneliness.
You can hire the Lonesome Drifter for the Atomic Wrangler, right? When you're doing that quest, and you got to get the Ghoul Cowboy and
absolutely,
it's a
Ghoul Cowboy.
I never take Mysterious Stranger. I wonder if you can, how many restarts you'd have to do to get it to where the Mysterious Stranger procs and kills his son.
Ray.
No, that
Oh.
is not a thing we think about.
That is I was thinking that's a beauty, a thing of beauty, such. Just
Oh my
full
gosh,
circle.
it really is. That would be horrible.
You can Google. I bet you someone's done it.
What would be amazing is if you found out you tried to make it happen and it never worked. Like even if he procced, he wouldn't shoot him. Like that would be such a cool.
Yeah, that would
little
be-
Easter
He
egg.
takes a knee instead.
Where they hug it out.
He's like,
Can you imagine discovering
"Bro!"
something like that 15 years after the game came out? That would be awesome.
That's really cute. All right, so let's check it and see who we have next.
Next up, we've got Lee.
Next is who? Lee. Oh, that guy.
Greetings, all. This is Lee Benjamin with the story of Lori Finch in the New Vegas Wasteland, Episode 10. Lori left the Big MT behind using the Big Mountain Portal Ponder device and wound up back in the Mojave Drive-In. She headed back to Novak for the rest and resupply. The next day, she checked in with Ambassador Crocker and learned that the NCR might accept help from the Great Khans, a tribe north of Good Springs, who made and dealt drugs to many in the Mojave. He felt their elimination might be best, but left it to her as to what she would do. Checking her Pip-Boy, she headed north of Good Springs and the Great Khans' camp to the north in Red Rock Canyon. She was soon reminded of the colony of Deathclaws who had overtaken the path through Quarry Junction, which she had learned about when she was Sloan. There she had also met their pet mole rat, Snuffles, and healed his bum leg. Since no one seemed to know how to get to the Great Khan's current encampment with Quarry Junction blocked, she spent several days probing the area around Quarry Junction to find a way over, under, around, or through to the suspected location of their camp. After spending entirely too much time and ammo at long range to take out Deathclaws, she finally got to the north side of Quarry Junction. She headed west and came upon some scouts in a temporary Great Khan's camp. They were waiting for a shipment of supplies used in making the drugs they distributed. The leader, Melissa, said that their contact in Sloan had a suitcase containing what they needed, but their shipment had not shown up, and it was very late. Larry also learned about the feud between the NCR and the Great Khans at Bitter Springs, where several of the Khans' women and children were massacred by the NCR. Larry decided to help them out and gain enough favor to reach their main camp. Not knowing who their contact was, she had to spend quite a while in Sloan before she realized the only suitcase she could find was in the office of the mine supervisor, Chomps Lewis, and it was empty. She found him out by the railroad tracks and discreetly asked about the shipment. He knew which friend she meant, and there wasn't going to be any shipment because his supplier in Prim, Tyrone, had stiffed him for the prepaid shipment. Larry asked Lewis how he knew of the Khan, Melissa, and he said that she was his daughter, and she was happy being with them. That explained why the NCR-funded mine supervisor was helping the Khans. She didn't plan on telling anyone. In Prim, Laurie found Tyrone alone in a tent and asked him about the shipment. He said he was already under suspicion about supplies walking off somewhere and tried to stiff her for another 300 caps. She easily convinced him that the shipment was well worth her keeping quiet about what she now knew. Laurie delivered the chems to Melissa. Melissa said that she would give a good word for her with the Khans at Red Rock Canyon. Melissa then told her that Red Rock Canyon is west of the South New Vegas west entrance. Laurie found most of the northwest portion of the map to be impassable, until she returned to Good Springs and went north, hugging the mountains to the west where she found that a tribal village had been destroyed, a state park that had been destroyed. She turned north and west from there. She eventually found Red Rock Canyon and the Great Khan's main camp. She spent some time talking to the Great Khans and made her way to the house where the council commanded them from. There she found Papa Khan, their leader, Regis, his right-hand man, and Carl, an ambassador from Caesar's Legion. She talked to all of them and found out that the Khans already had a pact with the Legion. She was left thinking the Khans were worth preserving, and that her inner diplomat didn't want her to eliminate them as the one option Ambassador Crocker had given her. After walking about a bit, she decided to return to the Longhouse. Outside, she ran into Regis. He said that he thought that because of the massacre in Bitter Springs, Carl had been able to poison Papa's mind against the NCR. Regis wouldn't go against Papa Khan, but since Carl had ingratiated himself to Papa Khan, he definitely wanted a fact-based solution. He knew that promises made to Melissa about being integrated into the Legion as a warrior was unlikely, as he'd never seen a woman in any place of power in his dealings with the Legion. He had also heard the rumors of tribes being destroyed by allying with the Legion and becoming slaves. He knew that Papa Khan was not a tyrant and could be convinced, if given evidence, by those he trusted. He suggested that Laurie convince his closest advisors, Jack, Diane, Melissa, and himself, that going with the NCR was the Khan's best path forward. Then they could convince Papa Khan. With a clear path forward, Laurie headed to their chem lab to talk to Jack and Diane, who make and distribute the drugs that support the Khans financially. Jack's opinion was that he and Diane were a great team. He just makes the happy stuff, and Diane makes sure it finds a good home. He knew that the Legion was full of negative waves, and when told that the Legion would kill him and sell Diane into slavery and prostitution, he immediately agreed that the NCR was definitely the way to go. Laurie also convinced Jack that he should make a side business of making actual medical supplies to keep his aura clean, as he put it. Diane was in complete agreement about making meds as an attempt to expand their business for the good of the tribe, as they were currently barely getting by. If they made a profit, they'd continue. Laurie then returned to Melissa, where she told her that despite what Carl had told her about being a speculatore, no women were allowed to be soldiers in Caesar's Legion, and that she would become a slave, where the best she could hope for would be to be an officer's wife. At the worst, she'd end up a prostitute. Melissa agreed to let Papa Khan know about her newfound perspective on the Legion. Returning to the Khan's longhouse that night, Laurie is able to follow Regis's suggestion to look for anything that Carl might have written down about his actual thoughts on the Khans. She decided to sneak into the longhouse and see what she could find. It didn't take long for her to find Carl's journal. Outside, she gave it a read and realized that everything she knew about the Legion was laid out in his disdain for the Khans. The next afternoon, when Papa was returning to the council table, Laurie presented Carl's journal to him. He took it, and the counsel he had received from his most trusted people, and realized that Carl was a false friend, and ordered him taken from the camp, and if he was slow, to kill him. He never made it out from behind the table. Papa Khan knew now that he couldn't ally with the Legion, but wondered where they would regain their past glory. Laurie convinced him that their legacy was already great, and he decided to let go of the past, and when the Legion made their move, they would leave the prison that Red Rock Canyon had become, and find a new home for the Khans elsewhere. Laurie returned to Ambassador Crocker and told him that the Khans would not be siding with Caesar's Legion in the coming confrontation. He appreciated her initiative in taking the diplomatic route, and hoped that things would continue to go well.
Sorry, I'm too enthralled by Lee's picture biography going on over here.
I was deep into that too.
I like everyone's hitting the hey lady, you don't want to be involved with this Legion because you're either going to be a slave or pregnant all the time. And, I don't see why it would take any convincing otherwise.
Yeah, that's more than enough. Just, one of the above, also good.
Also,
and sometimes neither.
Don't need a third point.
Yeah.
And Lee's pictures, I was going through every fucking thing in my inventory, trying to find some headgear that would go with that cool new Halo thing we got from the Big MT.
Right.
And he's wearing a helmet in there, and I'm trying to see who's...
Yeah, it could be the back of a combat helmet. Like, it could be a combat helmet that he's wearing.
Lee, what's that helmet, bro?
I don't think it's a Legion helmet, and I don't think it's a security helmet.
Yeah, but so I was like, damn.
Who are you wearing, Lee? You're on the red carpet.
Lee, right, yes. Who you got?
Also, in the world of How Very Dare, Rando said keeping them pregnant and, locked up like in Andrew's vault.
Oh. We shall not be speaking of that outside of this podcast, right, guys?
It's different. That one was endorsed by Vault Tech.
That's betwixt us and Vault Tech, and nary shall anyone else's ears hear.
He thinks it's just a metal helmet. Whatever it is, it looks good. Definitely like it.
Metal helmet, all right.
We only saw it from behind, because we see the back of Lee's character in the picture.
And that's why he got such a fine ass mod, right? Right? Come on. All right. Thank you, Lee, for the feedback, sir. Who do we have up next? Looks like Rando is closing up the night. So thank you, sir. Let's check in and see what Rando has.
The Diaries of Myra Tenpenny. Hi again, Veronica here. So, Myra showed up last night after being gone for about 2 weeks. She walked in, threw a weird colored power fist and her diary at me, said, "Have fun. I don't want to talk about it." Threw her dirty spacesuit and helmet on the floor and went in the room up here in the top of the Lucky 38 and sat on the couch. Eddie started acting weird and just followed her in the room. And those two stared at each other for, I don't know, hours, until Myra just passed out, sleeping on the couch, sitting up. And after reading back in this diary, I understand why. And even though I have way more questions than answers, I'm going to leave it alone. We're not going to bring this up. Although, here in a couple weeks, I am going to call her teddy bear and see what happens. I can't help it. Hi, it's Myra. Veronica, I swear to God, I didn't read what you wrote. But if I think I saw what I thought I saw, you better not. Anyway, so we just got back from the Gomorrah. Headed over, talked to the receptionist. She told me I needed to find Caccino and talk to him. So after looking around, we tracked him down. He's a very, very rude man. But anyway, he didn't want to have any dealings with me, so we snuck into his room upstairs. After some poking around, I found some things that he didn't want anybody to find. And after confronting them with them and making a little deal, he's been much nicer. So he told me about these two guys, Clandon and Troika. After going and, well, trying to talk to them, Troika was fine. He's just strung out. He told me what he was planning with the explosive and whatnot. So I got him to destroy them. Clandon, on the other hand, I'm a talker. Y'all should know by that by now. He wasn't giving me anything. And I don't know what has come over me lately, or since I got back from Big Mountain. I just couldn't deal with this guy. He was giving me nothing, so I punched him. And I kind of forgot how strong these power fists are. Also, interesting point. They don't consider that a weapon here, I guess, because when they took all my weapons and I kept some holdouts, it was still on my hand. How they don't notice a big turquoise fist, I don't know. But anyway, I got what I needed from Clandon. Clandon is a stupid name. But after foiling both of their plots to cause trouble on the strip, I went back and talked to Caccino. He said we're going to go meet Big Sal and Nero, and that he'd slip me a gun. I don't think I need it, but whatever. So after going to their office, we had to sit down. I just played dumb, like I didn't know what was going on. But in true pompous mob boss fashion, Big Sal told me the whole story. And so at the end of his monologue, I may have told a little fib, told him that Nero was trying to take him out, and all hell broke loose. For about 3 seconds. Nero promptly shot Big Sal and killed him. I stood up and knocked Nero's head across the room, and it was over. And after talking to Caccino, he's going to run the Gomorrah, and he promises to run it real good. I'll be checking in. I think he knows how this power fist works now. And after going back and seeing Mr. House, who was very happy that these problems were taken care of, he told me my next task. I have to go destroy the Brotherhood of Steel. I'm going to have to find somebody else to take with me, because I know Veronica left them and she's not a fan of theirs anymore. But I may have gotten a little cold-hearted in the Mojave, but I'm not cold enough to take her with me to destroy her family. So I'll be looking around to see if I can find somebody to take along with me. And V, if you're reading this, I'm sorry, but it's something I'm going to have to do.
I thought the yin earlier, like early on his feedback, was in character, but then hearing
I really
him,
felt it.
and then hearing him say the Brotherhood of Steel, how he pronounced it, then made me think, oh wait, this guy has to actually live in Pittsburgh or the Pittsburgh area, and that yin might
Well, we're not here to dox anybody,
that
but
might
he's
not
from
that
Yin
might not have
region,
been
maybe?
in the
Yeah.
character. Yeah, he's totally in that region. Did you hear the way he said the Brotherhood of Still? It's like, what's Yin doing? You know, go down to the Stillers game. You can go watch the Stillers game. He's totally got that Pittsburgh accent. It's hilarious. It's great.
I love it. He's like, bro, I'm from Colorado.
No, he's not.
he's just in character. He's just a character.
He's in.
No, but I have to tell you. So, Rando does pictures along a lot too. And the idea of dealing with the trauma after what happened, in the big MT, like definitely personified. I like the way he put that in the diary. I like the idea of just like getting out of there, just throwing down the spacesuit and everything. Because keep in mind, his character went from shooting to punching. Like, you know what I mean? He barely survived. She barely survived with, the use of this power fist and punching everything.
Is that the power fist? That green?
Yeah.
God, that's fucking huge.
Yeah, that bluish one. And that's another one that counts as a holdout weapon if you're over 50. I don't think it would count as a holdout weapon normally.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there over 75 weapons too?
No, I think it's
just
at about
the
the
50
halfway
threshold.
point that it starts. And I actually don't know. The power fist might even be small enough to
crazy.
be a holdout anyway.
Hey, there was a science glove or something like that from the big MT. Did anyone bring that home? Is that equivalent? See, I'm not doing melee or unarmed, but is that a good one? Is that equivalent to anything worth bringing back? Because I bet you that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, some of them have good effects.
Yeah, I'm thinking, isn't it the kind of thing where Mobius's glove was the science glove that had a perk to it, and the regular scientist glove is nothing, just blue?
I forgot about
think
Mobius's glove.
Klein's has something.
Klein's too, yeah. You got Mobius's glove and Klein's glove.
God damn. There's a picture of Rando punching some poor gentleman.
Yeah.
And his pants and legs are there, but his torso has exploded.
Yeah, I know. Myra just wasn't having it. You can kind of get Myra's frustration there. He's really embodied her headspace at this point, and that shows in that picture too. Well punched. Also, at the very end there, I like the TV show Analog when the ghoul, they're in New Vegas, and the ghoul knows he has to turn Lucy in, but he doesn't want to. You know what I mean? And he has to, I think we can spoil this part of the show at this point, that the ghoul has to have a few drinks and is kind of rationalizing why he's going to do what he has to do, but doesn't want to. And I feel like Myra's doing the same thing with the Brotherhood of Steel and having to take them out and, not wanting to expose Veronica to that. Definitely got those vibes.
Beautiful. All right. Hey, that was our feedback, you guys. Always looking forward to more if you're listening, and always oh man, I want to hop in, but yeah, please hop on in. We go slow enough that you could start the game right now and still catch up before the end of the season.
Yeah,
so.
Will might jump back in with some of it. Yeah, if he ends up doing some of the old world blues, catching up with his character's current dealio.
Oh man, but he does such a highly produced. I can't imagine. I do a podcast, and I can't imagine putting that sort of audio work together. I'm good Lord, man.
Takes work. All of our feedback participants, putting in the work and such. But yeah, producing something that's essentially an audio drama that can be a lot.
Because you have to be recording as you're
blues.
playing, and then going back and ripping the audio, and all sorts of stuff. Crazy.
Bringing in the extras is definitely hard, but Really enjoyed everybody's feedback this week. That was great stuff. We are going to be heading to the BOS next week, like we were discussing.
Do we have
BOS,
to?
or if you're with the NCR, you can't put out taking out House any longer either. I believe this is where you kind of got to step up and take out Mr. House.
Yeah.
If you didn't already.
Now's
which,
time.
you know.
Now's time. All right, you guys. That was our feedback for this week. Let's play a game or two. Roll into game time.
What time is it? Game time! Woo!
I said 2, but let's. So for game time this week, we're playing Mahapalachi. And when we're talking about the mysterious, what's it called? Mysterious Magnum.
Mysterious Magnum, yep.
I was like trying to prod and ask, hey, where do you get that? Because I was maybe leaning into a little bit of our theme. Mahapalachi, we're looking for unique weapons in New Vegas. Where are we getting these unique weapons? So I tried to keep the ones that were pretty, obvious, because I was looking at the list of unique. It's fucking ridiculous, the amount of unique named weapons. So let's roll into it, and we'll start with Jess. New Vegas unique weapons. Further north here. I think this is the one Ray was always talking about, the YCS 186 Gauss rifle. Was that the one you were talking about, Ray?
That is one of them.
Yep.
Yeah, you like that one. Which one is further north? That one or Thump Thump? We all know Thump Thump up there.
Thump Thump is with the boomers, right?
Yes, Thump Thump
so
is
boomers
that.
Boomers are north, but they're northeast.
A grenade launcher or something, right?
But we know that the YCS blah 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 is right on the edge up there, right near where you end up going to Honest Hearts. I feel like you're maybe being tricksy, and that might be just a hair further north. So we're going to go with the YCS.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And I was wrong anyway. Darn
the
it.
boomers.
Overthinking.
Just about as far as you can go. Ray, further south. Are we doing the Holy Frag Grenade?
And there was much rejoicing.
Or the Rat Slayer? Holy Frag Grenade or the Rat Slayer? Further south.
I'm not even sure where the Holy Frag Grenade is. Is that so? It's probably in Searchlight, which is further south than the Brock Cave.
Further south. And
so
the
I'll
Rat
go with
Slayer
Holy Hand Grenade.
Rat Slayer's a varmint rifle. Holy Hand Grenade is correct. Good job, Ray. You'll double dip that sounder.
And there was much rejoicing.
I assume the Holy Frag Grenade has to be a Holy Hand Grenade.
Yeah, I'm not even sure.
Holy
I mean,
Grail.
that's I haven't done anything with the grenades.
All right, and also I was leaning in so hard to there's no miniguns in Fallout New Vegas except for the CZ-57 Avenger. Jess, which is further east, the CZ-57 Avenger minigun, or Blade of the East, which is a bumper sword. Blade of the East, or the CZ-57 Avenger minigun.
We are going with the Blade of the East.
Absolutely, Blade of the East. That is that's got to be in the Legion.
In the Legion camp, right? Yeah.
The minigun, I believe, is some NCR thing at the dam. I could be incorrect about that. Furthest west, Ray, close us out good. We have the Great Bear Grenade Rifle, the Great Bear Grenade Rifle, or your favorite, Chance's. You know where Chance's knife is, obviously. What is the Great Bear Grenade Rifle?
I don't know. That's another one that I guess I need to do an explosives build.
Ray, you're not blowing enough shit up.
No. I find it too slow and tedious. Well, I'll just I know where Chance's knife is, and it's pretty far west. So I'll go with Chance's knife.
But is it as far west as that NCR trading post down in the very far southwest corner? No, it's not.
Oh, damn. That's where that stupid thing is?
Yeah, I think the Great Bear grenade rifle is attained down there. I believe, because the point on at least it's down in that corner of the map. But yeah, thank you for playing. Mojapalachi.
Oh, wait a minute. The Great Bear
what is
grenade
that one?
rifle is a Lonesome Road item.
Oh, that's unfair. That's unfair, Ray. So, where would that leave it on the map? Is Lonesome Road
Lonesome Road's a little further west.
Yeah, it's still just a little bit.
Is it a separate map though? Right?
Yeah.
Like when you go there, you open up your
but
map.
The canyon wreckage is just outside of Prim.
Yeah, just on the other side of the road there, underneath that robot billboard. There's a bus or something there, right?
Yeah, but then Chance's knife is just before you get to the tribal village.
Need to learn to avoid that stupid DLC. All right, thanks for playing, guys. Let's roll into our bits.
Jessica, to the office, please. Jessica, to the office. Your iguana bits are ready. Please come pick them up. Just a few quick bits tonight, guys. First off, want to announce a vinyl giveaway. Starfield. Wait, this is not Fallout. No, it's Starfield. But we talked a lot of Starfield tonight. The Starfield vinyl giveaway. So, the official Starfield account over on X, formerly known as Twitter, is celebrating the Free Lanes launch with a giveaway of the vinyl soundtrack for Starfield, signed by Einon Zur. To enter, you just have to follow the account and repost. They're going to give away 4 copies. 3 people will receive the deluxe double vinyl signed, and 1 person will receive an exclusive edition deluxe double vinyl signed. So yeah, you get.
Wait a minute, isn't that Einon Zur?
Yeah, I say Einon Zur, but it is Xenon, isn't it? It's Kachino. We don't know. But yeah, so Einon Zur. The composer. So they are giving that away. It's going to be open until the end of the week. So I believe that would be, since he just posted it earlier today, I would think that's next Friday. So enter by the 17th to get in on that. Also announced just today, there is a new PTS update. That's the public test server. So time never stops in Apple. Well, I mean, technically, it kind of does a little while at a time in Appalachia, but they are already working on the next update after the one we just got, and they just started testing it. So a couple things that are going to be happening over there. They are testing something called infestations. So you may know that they got rid of hordes a few updates ago. The old mole rat horde or the ghoul horde or what have you, where it was a group of creatures. You got into an area, you had to attack a couple roving bands till you found the alpha and then take out the alpha, and that closed the horde. They got rid of that. But now they're bringing it back in a new way, and it's called infestations. So they're going to be endgame content for people, and essentially it's just to kind of reward people who explore the map and challenge players with high-stakes combat, so you can get 4-star legendary rewards. The way it's going to work is while you're exploring the world, you may run into an infestation. They're not going to be marked on the paper map or flagged in your Pip-Boy. These are just things you can stumble across called infestations. When you discover it, then it will show and be flagged. So you can even call your friends to come help or what have you. They're organic encounters, and you'll know you're in an infested area because the enemies that would normally be there have been replaced by something else that's infesting the area. You're going to run into a lot of them. So say you'd normally be hitting scorched in the area. Okay? But now you go in there, and suddenly it's all super mutants. There's an infestation of super mutants. Or I can't imagine it's going to be an infestation of sheep squatches, but something, different creatures. So they can happen all over, all the main areas. I don't think that they can happen in the Burning Springs, but they can happen, Ash Heap, Forest, Toxic Valley, Cranberry Bog, all the usuals. The enemies that we know about so far are going to be Blood Eagles, cultists, ghouls, mole miners, Scorched. Okay, so Scorched can be an infestation, super mutants, and robots. And they could all be the ruling faction area. So essentially, they're going to hit hard. They're going to be a lot of them. You got to fight them, and you got to find who the elite level boss is. You take out that boss. It counts as a tier 4 legendary, and you can get good rewards from them. So that's item number 1. Item number 2 they're testing, another camp pet. So we have the kitties and we have the dogs and we have a boar now. Although, so have you guys seen the rad boar as a camp pet? The big old rad hog?
No.
That thing. So he's cute. I mean, he's gross but cute, but he's so underfoot. So the way pets are designed, they often they kind of try to follow you around everywhere. Well, it's one thing when it's the size of a cat or something. But if you got a little rad hog trying to stick himself wherever you are, and he's a big ass porker in your way, and it's really funny, and you're stumbling over him. And so the new one, they're testing a Deathclaw camp pet. I got to assume the Deathclaw won't be quite as underfoot because that would be even worse than a rad hog. But we'll find out. So obviously you can tame Deathclaws and have them around your camp. But this would be a Deathclaw pet. So really looking forward to what people think about that. Your very own Death Bunny to protect you. Blue Devils. Yeah, Blue Devils shouldn't be pets either. Oh, by the way, shout out to John the Shoveler. He finished Wastelanders last week. And he dealt with the same thing that a lot of us did first time we tried to finish, where, the final quest in Vault 79 locks up on the way. His locked up in a different place, though, and he lost, the majority of the mission, had to redo it, but he got it done. So congrats on finding the treasure of Appalachia, finally. A lot of people hunting that treasure, and you were the one. You did it. There's also going to be new seasonal fish they're going to be testing. So on top of the, monthly axolotl, which, by the way, you guys, we are 2 months from around the horn from fishing. We started fishing middle of June last year. So we are, I think is it the dotted or the spotted axolotl this month? Anyway, the new one is out now, and we're going to be getting 2 more before we go around the horn. Dotted. There we go. Dotted axolotl. I got confirmation. So that's crazy. But yeah, they're going to be testing seasonal fish now too. So besides, all the general ones and the 3 per region, there'll be summer fish and autumn fish and winter fish. And then there'll be special recipes that you can use these fish in too. So they're actually useful for something, and you're not going to just chum them up for your old pal Linda Lee. Which I know you guys you two here aren't fishing regularly, but you can still do that. You do the fishing daily.
I
Get in there,
fish
you
in
do some
Zelda.
fish.
It's fun.
It is fun in Zelda too. It is. But Linda Lee, she's always hungry. She's always gobbling them fishes. Got to be careful not to feed her the good stuff. They're actually, another thing that they're testing with this is keeping it so that she can't eat the seasonal fish. You can't accidentally feed them to Linda Lee, which would be good.
And that's the big crab, right?
Yeah, right. The giant, the giant crab, hermit crab
Feed
with
the
a boat on his
chunks
back.
too.
Exactly. Fishy bits.
Oh, bits.
Fishy
Sorry.
bits. Yeah.
I'm thinking
She loves
Starfield. That's Starfield. The chunks.
So we're getting some, they're testing some new weapon stuff as well. They're not redoing weapons yet again, but they're testing some new legendaries and that can spawn on weapons. So being able to the gutter. You guys might remember the gutter, which is that weapon you can get from the burrows.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, you can get legendary effects on it.
Rippers.
Right, the Assaultron arm. Yeah, it's basically from an
Assaultron
Assaultron Dominator arm, and you can use that. So they're doing that. Light machine guns. They're still tweaking explosion damage, trying to make it a little better. Workbench, they're working on the Workbench UI a little bit with a new confirmation UI. Don't know what that's going to look like yet, but they said they're doing it. And they are actually reworking radiation exposure. So that's going to be a big thing.
Oh.
Items that protect from it, items that, affect it, and they're fine-tuning it. So maybe it'll be more powerful for ghouls, but also ways for regular players to mitigate it better again. So we'll see. Working through that, figuring that right now, and that's enemy radiation, that's environmental radiation, that's all that. So anyway, public test server is go. They are always working on something.
Nice.
Yeah, pet death bunnies. I don't know. I know some people are going to really enjoy that.
As long as they're always underfoot.
That's what I'm hoping not. But
Standing in your doorway.
I remember I used to get where you could recruit them or whatever.
Yeah, you can still with Wasteland Whisper. You can still
you can trap them
back at your camp.
You can trap them with the raider traps and the beacon too.
Yeah, so our friend Cherry, she always has a pet Deathclaw, or a mutant hound, but usually Deathclaw. So I'm wondering if she could have 2. If she could get this one from the Atom Shop or from earning it on a season, and then also tame a death claw, so you got multiple death claws, that would be pretty awesome. Also dangerous. You know.
Where does she live? Quarry Junction? Good Lord.
Pretty much. Yeah. Oh, her other name is Melissa, you know. So, no, kidding, obviously. So, on the actual season calendar coming up, there's nothing exciting this weekend, mutated events. So, if you're into that kind of party pack situation, that's happening. But next weekend, we're going to get double XP coming up. So, get ready to stock up double XP, and that'll be followed by the Rip Daring mini season. Always enjoy more Rip Daring. He's a fun one. I like him as a character. And then finally, we've got something on a Fallout music poll that is here on the Discord and in Facebook, I believe. You want to tell us more about that, Andrew?
Yeah, I've started cycling through. You know, we've mentioned it the last couple of weeks on the show, but I finally figured out how to put a Google Doc poll together so that, you know, people all on multiple social media formats can all vote on the same poll. So, I didn't even know that was possible. Thank you for telling me how to do that, Jess. And, I ran it by her last night or a couple nights ago, and it looks like it's all working correctly now. So, now's the time, community. Go find us on Facebook or Discord. I'll try to put it out on... I don't know, where else are we? Blue Sky, whatever. And we'll please tell us at least one. It doesn't just have to be one. Tell us a few of your favorite Fallout songs, and it doesn't have to be just from the games. The Fallout universe, from the shows, from whatever. If I don't know if there's songs in the show that don't happen in the games. Do they do that?
There are definitely some.
There are. Okay,
yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So yeah, if there are any of your favorite songs from the Fallout universe, Jeff and I were going to do a covers record, like a tribute record to the Fallout songs. And that on that note, I also want to recruit any musicians or anybody else out here in the Fallout community who want to clap hands, sing a backup song, play guitar on something, breathe heavily into a microphone in a creepy way. Anything you guys want to do to participate, we're always game. So let's put together a fun project. We've already got fun packaging and actually making real physical media ideas we're kicking around in the background. So we're going to make a fun little project of this. And then I was thinking, do we need to worry about copyright of any of this shit, like with the cover art or any of the recording the songs? If we're actually going to produce a real physical media, if it's just digital, I wouldn't care at all. But
and if it's just for fan stuff among fans, you really don't need to worry about much. You just
Okay.
you want to usually avoid Vault Boy.
Yeah, we're under the radar. We're not going to make. These are not going to sell hundreds of thousands of copies or anything. So yeah, I'm not worried about it. Anyway, we're putting together a really fun little project, and the snowball's starting to roll. So the first step would be what songs are we gonna do? So. Go answer that poll. Find it at the obvious places.
Good times. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a fun project y'all are doing. As far as what else is happening,
we are doing. Come on, we
are doing. Y'all are starting it, but we are doing. I'm definitely playing bass, and maybe you know what? I can do some samples.
I'll need help with graphical layout.
Programming.
There's here's the size of a tape, and how do you do the art? And I'm like. Good. All right.
You did awesome on that poll. But I wanted to mention that there is some fun stuff in the Atomic Shop too. While we're still here, real quick, there is a cool new fish tank. You guys, you can display your fish now. You can display your small and medium fish. They're looking on other ways. There are multiple containers right now. There's just a cool aquarium style pillar, but they're looking on a couple others that have been data mined. So that's going to be really fun. I also want to say the Fallout 4. So we've got people here jumping into Fallout 4, Ray, and for anyone else who wants to, the creations are expanding still over there. They are featuring them again, and right now they're mostly featuring stuff out of the Mojave. A lot of things inspired by New Vegas. So talk about timing, that's perfect. The whole Project Mojave Workshop pack, a bunch of creatures, a couple of my favorite modders I've talked about before, HCX Grill and the Fried Turkey. They do great creatures, and they currently work with 011 on Fallout 76. but they have like their Mojave Cazadors and the geckos and all that are available there. So if you want geckos in your Fallout 4, definitely check them out. They are high quality stuff.
I want geckos.
Really good. Yeah, I love the geckos. And beyond that, I should also mention that this Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern over on Jessica Star XP on Twitch, we're going to be doing The Frogs, which is, it's, Wasteland Theater Company play in Fallout. You guys, this is our weirdest show yet. It is unusual. It is odd. The Greeks, so some of the Greek philosophical plays are just strange. This one first aired like 405 BC. It's by Aristophanes, and it is at turns vulgar and comedic, and it's like the Waiting for Godot of Greek plays, but we're doing it. So, if you can't tune in live, don't ever feel you have to, but if you do, that's great. I know we'll have a lot of people watching live, and it'll ultimately be up on my YouTube when it's done as well. I've been, a lot of my time this week has been working on things for that.
Tell us again the time.
7 p.m. Eastern. On Twitch, Jessica Star XP.
And the evening?
Yes, 7 p.m. Eastern, Sunday.
But Sunday. Okay.
I'm so sorry. Yep, Sunday.
You'll buy your whole seat, but you only need the
edge. So looking forward to that. There you go.
Oh, I love that poster. That is the fucking best. That is.
I was really proud of that poster, Andrew. Yeah,
I love that poster, dude. Good job.
Yeah, I'm doing some fun graphics for it. I'm actually taking inspiration because it's so unusual. I'm throwing out the book on this one. So the credits are kind of Saul Bass classic 60s inspired. I'm doing a little bit like mid-century modern mixed with kind of like 60s mod, and it's a little weird, but I'm trying. I haven't done hand animation much, and I'm having to slide in and animate the titles, and it's a little bit of work, but it's been a fun project. So yeah, I've done a lot of that this week.
You're like a wizard to me. You're so skilled. I'm like, God, how you can just make that appear as magic.
It's fun to learn this stuff. Thank you.
All right, more bits. Them's the bits. 7 o'clock Sunday night, everybody. Tune in. All right. Anything else on the show notes tonight? That looks like all of our shouts. I'm going to reiterate, go vote in the song poll. I'm going to probably start making waves here before too long about actually getting going on the recording. And I have, of course, have my favorite and Jess and Ray. I forget, we talked to you guys last week. What did you guys say off the top of your head? Jess was like "End of the World," I think, right? Was one of you always said.
One of the big ones for me. Yeah,
I fucking love that song too. Ray, I forget Big Iron, right? That's one that Jeff also brought up from. And that one's not in 4. That's a New Vegas exclusive, right?
Yep.
Jingle Jangle Jingle too. I mean, that one's up there.
That's also a New Vegas exclusive, right? Because I was like, wait a second, you mean Bingo Bango Bongo? No, I mean Jingle Jangle Jangle. So I think we need to have back-to-back Bingo Bango Bongo Jingle Jangle Jingle on the tape.
Absolutely.
I think that would be
And
hilarious.
then the Star Wars Genesis version with Jango Fett.
And I'm thinking
Jingle, Jango.
on the tape, instead of A-side, B-side, we have Alpha and Beta for radiation kinds.
Perfect.
Or Gamma, Beta and Gamma.
Gamma
I
side.
don't know, something like that. Because Alpha radiation isn't actually. Anyway. So yeah, go vote in the poll. It'll be floating around our community. And I'll post the link numerous times, and all the data will accumulate over time. But we'll start with the most popular ones and see if we can get, a good album's worth of songs together. Let's do it, you guys. All right, you guys have anything else you want to bring up tonight on the show?
Now I guess one last quick shout.
What's up?
Annie Austin did a video called "How Many Nukes Actually Hit Fallout 4's Commonwealth?" People, if you don't watch Annie Austin, fun YouTuber, loves to do analytical videos. And this is how many nukes actually hit Fallout 4's Commonwealth. It just published a day or two ago. And yeah, it's a good video. So, highly recommend. Like all this stuff.
Yeah, no, that's a great thought to sit there and also, who was it? Was it the Shoveler? Someone suggested, had a good idea, and maybe we'll just include this into the song tribute project. That we do a song parody of Paul Simon's Graceland, but call it Wasteland. We should community source lyrics for that. So everyone loves that song, Graceland, one of my favorites. If you have ideas for lyrics for that, let's community source some lyrics for that. Let's put that together, everybody. That sounds
make it
like fun
work.
too.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I got. You guys got other stuff?
All good.
Ray, what you got?
Good to go.
All right. In that case, I'll say Ray. You can find him over there at Ray LB. He also got that No Man's Sky show at BBCISSS, Butcher Baker Candlemaker in Space, and all of his Starfield ideas. Where do you post those, Ray? You have all the Starfield up, but where do you put all your
on
Starfield?
the Fallout feed?
On the Fallout feed. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So there we go. All right. Well, you should look up that show too, the Fallout feed. I hear it's pretty good. All right, Ray, thanks for hopping on.
Good times.
Jess can be found at Sleep is 4T. And give us, again, it was Jessica Star XP. No.
Yeah,
something
like double
like
XP. Jessica Star XP.
XP.
Like
there you go. All right.
the Jessica Star experience.
And
you know?
that was specifically Twitch. No.
Yeah, that's my Twitch.
That's
Basically,
your Twitch.
I changed
Jessica Star
a
XP.
year ago. I changed United Wastelanders Network since we're no longer a thing.
Mhm.
And a little less than a year ago, I changed it to Jessica Star XP because I wanted it under my name.
Yeah,
and
of
I
course.
didn't want and I'm like, what am I going to do? XP. So it kind of
She's
works.
gonna experience it up. All right.
Yep, it's all about the XP.
Guys, so find her there at Sleep is 4T. And a reminder, Sunday night, 7 o'clock. If you hear this on Saturday when you're mowing your lawn, getting your rad machine out on the yard, think, oh man, maybe I should hit up Tragically Optimistic too and get myself a stupid sticker to join the motorcycle club. So get yourself on that project too, you guys. Jess, thanks so much for hopping on.
Thank you.
I can be found in the Facebook group, also hang out at the Discord here and there, and at Indie Android, various locations. The show can be found at the Fallout feed. I'd like to thank everyone for downloading this edition of the Fallout feed. We will see you in the Wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com.
The Fallout
For the Roundtable schedule,
at Gmail.
our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the Wasteland.
Sell. Stop hitting yourself.
And goddamn, does he love using the word fuck.
Thugs are they're so rude.
Who made and dealt drugs.
Oh, that guy.
How they don't notice a big turquoise fist, I don't know.
But if you got a little rad hog, he's a big ass porker.